movies anymore, and we only see dicks. Hey, anyone notice this? Yes, I love titties. Big old titties.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Monday edition of CAMELCAST with my boy, Stuttering Craig. What's up, dude?
Man, I got to be honest. You ask the most important questions.
Yes.
And that's why people come to you, Cam. That's why people come to you, because you ask the questions everybody wants to know.
Yeah. And no, I was on stage. It was me. I think it was me, Gary Nerdrotic, and Quarter Black Garrett, and a couple other guys. People were talking about like the, what's happening in media, what's happening in movies and video games, and giving all these very in-depth, speeches that were really nice. And they got to me and everybody was quiet. And I was like, has anybody noticed? There's only dicks. And it's true, because I think I had just finished watching The Boys right before I went to that event. It was like a year and a half ago. And there's like 2 or 3 dicks per episode. And I noticed that every movie I watched it, and coincidentally enough, I watched a movie like 3 days ago, and there's like a scene where all these old dudes are just walking around, and their little like shriveled penises are flopping.
Right.
And you never even see like a side boob of a woman, and I'm like, what happened? Why is it all dicks? God, and it's like PG-13, and they're showing like dudes' penises and stuff.
There's got to be some website out there that's tracking this data.
You would think
the B to D ratio in movies. Yeah. And I mean, this is important stuff, and I'm glad you bring it to everybody's attention. And listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. I will personally fund that website. I will personally fund that website and or Twitter account or X account. If somebody wants to go, it's just B to D ratio at B to D ratio.
Yeah.
So somebody go set that up, and we can figure. Dropping.
Dude, I miss it.
Setup, so.
Dude, I miss it. It just, everything seems so strange now. The world is so strange and dangerous now, and I'm just tired, and I don't know if I want to be here anymore. And speaking of not wanting to be here anymore, real quick, Billy Hatcher starting us off tonight with the Pink Boy. Look at this maniac. He started off last stream with $200. He's starting off this stream with a big, juicy Pink Boy. He says, glad to see you on tonight. I'm shocked how bad things are for Boogie. I met the dude at VidCon 2016. He was cool. I've hung out with Boogie like 10 times now. And I talked to him today. Hopefully he'll be on the show here in the next couple of days. We'll see. But the documentary, the one cool thing about the documentary is it did make him, it was him actually. For the first time, it was actually Boogie in real life, where he usually has kind of like a character he puts on when he's doing whatever bit on. If he's doing video game news, he's a different guy. When he's in person, he is unapologetically Boogie. It's crazy.
He's an interesting cat, man. I think he's been doing what he's been doing for so long. He doesn't know how to not do it. That's one of the things that you see this with all sorts of celebrities online, where they play a character and then they just don't know how to not be that character. Yeah. And especially, I mean, a lot of people who work online, it's what, there's regular people, but over time they become so absorbed with what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. They think that's who they are. And that person may be, what we at Screw Attack, we say, we're like, you're yourself plus 10%, right? Yeah. Plus 10% of whatever it is. But some of these people, they're themselves plus 80%. And they're always going, which ultimately leads to burning out. By the way, I would just like to point out tonight on this show, as Patrick Williamson comes in and drops that big old bomber.
I see it.
I want tonight, this may not be the most viewed show, but I want this to be the most successful show you've ever had.
That would be great.
That is a straight up challenge to the chat tonight to bring all the pink boys and what do you call the red boys?
Yes.
Bring those red boys and those pink boys and make it rain. Like Cam at the club, baby.
That's how we do it, man. That's that. To be honest, I don't know why, but these guys always do this to me. I don't deserve this shit, but they're always making it rain on my face for some reason, and I really, really appreciate it. You guys are wild as hell, and as a result, we're at 232 naked snakes in a row. It's been 2 years, 2 years, and we're up against 233, 250. I do a 24-hour stream, which I was really hoping. We almost lost it like 3 times ago, and I'm like, oh fuck! And now I have to do it, and I'm kind of worried about it. But it's getting pretty wild up in here. It's getting pretty wild.
Okay, what is fight milk? What exactly is it? Like, what is the ingredient?
It's 2 just whole eggs. You just crack them into a glass, fill it up with water. Usually I use whiskey. It's whatever I usually have on hand. If you drink, if you don't, then you just don't put alcohol in it. That's basically it, and you kill it in 1 swig. That's
okay.
it.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have eggs at our house. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you that we did.
That's probably what I'd do. But speaking of eggs, Patrick Williamson, look at this maniac. A $100 super chat already.
Let's go,
my boy. I appreciate that. Patrick is goated. Patrick is the man, coming in strong. Those super chats to start the stream, a pink boy and a red boy. Thank you guys so much for always supporting my dumb ass.
Love it.
And like Craig said, evolving. You know, a lot of people don't know how to do something else or be something else. And I think it's very, very important to evolve, not only in how you are and how comfortable you are, but also in the content you create. And speaking of evolving in content, tomorrow I have a GameStop video coming out.
Ooh.
So I hope you guys, watch it. Do you like the bit? It was like a 30-second intro to the joke.
That was good. Yeah, you nailed it.
At all. It's just a GameStop video, like the first one ever. So make sure you check it out. It's very, very insane. The GameStop made 3 big moves in the last 2 weeks. That looks to be their positioning for bankruptcy, because they pretty much cut every single thing that they offer to any employees and any customers. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Thank you, Patrick. I love you, and I appreciate you. You're the man.
Love it. Get all the super chats in, including this other one. I'll take any and all conversation tonight, baby. Let's make this thing
okay. Let's read this one. It says this one's coming after Craig hard.
Please
go crazy. Let's talk about hypocritical Craig. He says he's for free speech, yet he blocks anyone pointing out that he's created a right-wing echo chamber.
No, I haven't. Who have I blocked? I may have muted people, but I didn't block anybody. I muted people because people are annoying, right? And like you can go on, like, I've only done that on X, you know. So like if you come in and you're saying, you know, you're annoying the community, I don't care if you annoy me all you want. But as far as, and YouTube censored my comments, he used to watch all the time, but like never gone out of our way to censor anybody. Like, I'll mute you, no problem muting you, but I muted on X more than anything else. So yeah. I mean, hey, like listen, just because I'll listen to you speak, or just because you do speech, you have all the right in the world to speak, all the right in the world. I just don't want to hear it. That's all. You know, that's all. Yeah.
So I used to get emails or messages or stuff like that on, you know, Twitter and whatnot. And it'd be like, why did you block me from your stream, bro? I thought you were blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I've not muted nor blocked anybody in like 3 years. I have mods that do that. I'm like, so you should be yelling at them. I don't really care. And my favorite part is the right-wing echo chambers. The right-wing echo chamber thing is basically awesome. What that means is you didn't agree with everything that I approve of you to agree with. Therefore, you're which kind of tells on you for being like far left and kind of weird and creepy. Because I'm all for it. You know, if I had to identify with something, I would be around center somewhere.
Totally.
But I get called a right wing like Nazi dude every day because I'll have like Melanie Mack on and she's like really Christian, or I'll have you know, I've had a review tech and he's like a super leftist on my stream before. No one called me a right wing crazy person when that happened.
We have two, and then he got all upset because we had Melanie Mack on the show. he got really upset and really mad.
Well,
and it's like, oh, you know, whatever.
Rich is kind of a bitch.
Hey.
I'm joking, Rich.
Hey.
Look, I'm joking. They're gonna clip that and send it to him. And be like, he
Yes. It'll be in about 30 minutes. Rich will start a stream and be like, "They're talking about me." Apparently, he's been really upset. Like people have been saying he's been doing videos about us. I don't know. It's like same type of dude. I just mute him. I just don't even care. And I think that's the thing that drives people most crazy is people are like, it's like children who like pull at your leg. They're like, look at me, please. And you're like, you just kind of push them away. You're like, just shut up. Nobody cares about you. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They're children,
Yeah. And speaking of Rich, me and Rich has always been super cool with me. He made videos with me back in the day, and he's always been super cool. I'm one of his mods in his chat. I've just never had an issue with him. We've kind of went back and forth over shit before, but we've never like in my show with him. We actually went back and forth a lot, and then at the end of it, we were just like, all right, cool, and that was the end. And we're still friends. I don't know. It's weird.
And I think that's the craziest thing, right? Privately, like I've reached out to Rich several times. I was like he's had stuff going on with his family, and I'm like, man, just take care of your family. Like I reached out to him really cordially, nice, and I've shown nothing but respect to that guy, right? Until he went nuts and he got all upset at us, and it's like, then you just like, okay, whatever, dude, just do your thing, yell at the internet, and let people get mad, and it is what it is. Because once again, not everybody's always going to agree with everything that you say. But Rich was nearly like one of the initial hosts for Side Scrollers. I reached out to him because I don't care how it is politics. I could care less, right? But he couldn't handle us having Melanie on the show, which is like, okay, all right, like it is what it is. So
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. It is weird. It's a very strange thing. This is the guy that super chatted earlier. He censors opinions on the left and mutes them. Also, FYI, I'm a Republican. I just love free speech. No one that uses the phrase right-wing echo chamber is a Republican. I'm sorry, man. Like, no one says that shit. Like,
so he says, so Craig is admitting he refused to listen to different opinions. No, I always listen to different opinions. But when you're yelling and screaming that opinion, you lose credibility and ultimately my ear. Because when it's like, once again, it's the kid pulling on your shorts. Hey, look at me. And you're just like, okay, thank you. I heard you. I don't need to acknowledge you every time you speak. So, it is what it is. But
yeah. The thing is, people misconstrue those two things. So you can disagree cordially, and people that have those kind of conversations, usually center right, will just have conversations in a cordial manner. You'll see it all the time. You'll see a kid on a college campus, and he's just asking, he's just like giving people a mic, and he's like, why are you against this? Or why do you like this? Or blah, blah, blah. And the person like that they're talking to are just screaming at them. Right. Like when you scream and act like a hysterical and spam, it's not an opinion anymore. You're just being a goober.
Right.
Like you're being like the F slur, like hard. Right. So like, that's the whole point.
And he says, well, you refuse to listen to Rich. Well, go back and listen to what Cam just said the last 30 seconds. And that's why. Like I've had plenty of conversations with Rich. Like I said, I reached out to him privately many times, spoken to him privately many times. But like, if you're just going to yell, I really have no interest in listening to you. Whether you're on the left, right, center, black, white, straight, I could care less. Like if you're just going to yell and scream, I have no interest in listening to you. And to be honest, nobody does either. Nobody does, because you're annoying, Yeah. So unless you're black, no, you're definitely not welcome here. No, yeah. I'm just kidding. It's a joke, everybody. It's a joke. Okay. Oh, Jesus. What's up, Wicked Virtue? Thank you for being here. Let's go. Great to see you.
Thank you for your super chat. But anyways, let's talk about Boogie's documentary.
Please.
Hopefully he'll be on soon. So Boogie, if you guys don't know, a guy named Mike Klum released a documentary about Boogie2988. And initially, because Boogie was hyping it up, right? Initially, I thought this is going to be another one of those things about Boogie, and he's self-deprecating, and he's like, me, I'm so sad, I want to die. And it's just going to be whatever. It's going to be, not shit. It's going to get 100,000 views, and then no one's going to think about it again. And then it came out, and it was masterfully done.
Yes.
It was beautiful. I could not believe it. I was like, I can't believe this dude just outdid all those channels that milk Boogie every day. Mm-hmm. And I watched it, shared it, thought it was great.
Yep.
And I saw him on your show, Mike Klum, and then I reached out to Boogie. I'm like, bro, I watched your documentary. It was freaking crazy. Like, it was wild. I was like, you need to come on my show. And he said he'd come on my show. I just haven't set a date. I'm thinking Saturday, but we'll see. He said he'll do any date. I won't. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'll do Saturday. So we'll see if he's on Saturday. I'll let you guys know. But the documentary was wild. It was wild. What did you think about it, Craig?
So I was in like the first, I don't know, 10,000 people who watched it. It was, so I'm an early adopter, and I'll tell you this, man, this was, it's a sad documentary. It's very sad. And it's at 3.6 million views, right? It is a viral thing.
Yeah.
The one thing about Mike that I really appreciate about, before I get into the documentary, is he's very upfront about, he's like, look, this is a two-way relationship where we are using each other. And he's very upfront about like, I'm using Boogie to grow my channel, to get views. Boogie is using my skill set for relevance again.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate the upfront nature from Mike. But with that said, the documentary it's obviously very sad. It's sad in that this is how, it's not that a guy who was once a prominent YouTuber now lives his life paycheck to paycheck, hoping to be able to give this aura, this persona of what people perceive him to be. Because that's really what it comes down to. Why does he go to Magic at night? Because he wants people to think that he's bigger than he actually is, right? He wants to puff out his chest. And but Boogie is a dude. We've had him on the show a couple times, and we did an interview with him. I think we had him on one more time leading up to his boxing match. And I've met him in person, and he strikes me. He's about as straight of a shooter as you can be while being a crooked arrow, if that makes sense, right? Like he's very upfront, and I think in his mind, when he says like, I'm going to change, I'm going to change, I'm going to do this, I think in his mind he does it, but then he doesn't have the motivation to make that next step, right? He goes strong. He's the typical like go strong for a day or two, and then he's done. But what is his big thing now is like, I'm not going to do any drama, right? And he's like, well, it's been a week since I've done any drama content. It's like, that's a very small thing in life, but if that's what's going to make him happy, that's awesome. Let's go, so the documentary itself was really good. Mike's obviously super talented.
Yeah.
And I know he has several projects that he's working on. He mentioned that on our show. He said he has, 2-3 other projects that he's working on right now. And they're not going to be the same level of success as Boogie is, but they will be the same quality. And I think, that's the biggest thing.
The thing is, because of his success with the Boogie documentary, creators or producers of certain large creators are going to come in and be like, hey, we want one about Wings. Hey, we want one about Keemstar. And they're going to be on board with it. And this dude's going to go to the moon because it was so well received. And speaking of well received, Eric Lineker, $100.
Let's go.
Chat. I'm a right-wing Black Hebrew Israelite.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you so much, dude, for the Red Boy. You are a man. You are the biggest man I know. We're halfway to Naked Snake already in the first 18 minutes of the show. Thank you, Eric. I love you. I appreciate you. I don't deserve you, Patrick or Billy, for going so damn hard, but I'm forever thankful that you choose to do it for my dumb ass. So thank you, Eric. You're the man, son. And for the people spamming in the chat, thank you as well, because you're helping me bring in people like Eric to give me kisses on my face. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Love that.
Eric's the man, dude. He's the man. So, but Mike, he's going to have so many people reaching out. The only thing that sucks is, dude, that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they'll be far and few in between, but when they come out, they'll burn down YouTube for like a week every time they come out. So that's going to be really, really cool. And I'm excited to see what happens. I hope there's another one about Airsoft Fatty, because I don't know if you saw the Full Force with iDubbbz made it years ago. It's called Full Force. It's got like 30 million views on YouTube. And it's a documentary about a guy named Airsoft Fatty. It's a YouTuber. And it is brutal. It's beautiful. It's one of the best things iDubbbz ever put out, obviously, because of the views. And it's right before iDubbbz went all like weird cuck, because it's like shaved head, girlfriend, lady. It's weird. It's weird times. He went really strange.
Right.
But he made that documentary. It was amazing. And then I think he made a couple more. And then he got out of it because he got trolled by what's his name? SNL on Instagram. I forget his name now. what is his name? He's the dude with the glasses, gets banned on everything back in the day. He's freaking crazy as fuck. He sets up fights and stuff, and he trains people. Anyways,
yeah, I think I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, somebody in the chat will mention him here in a second. Sam Hyde, thank you, Sam Hyde. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name.
Is he still around? He's still like training people to fight,
he's
right?
Still doing it. And then he did Fish Tank recently, which was awesome. I subscribed to it and everything. It was
yeah. That's like it was like the 24-hour reality show or something.
Yeah,
right?
And Airsoft Fatty went on it because he shit on iDubbbz on Twitter or something or in a video, and because iDubbbz apparently abandoned him. Which, to be honest, I don't think iDubbbz really owed him anything, but I get it. I kind of get frustrated when creators that I think are my friends, I text them or something, they don't answer and they don't respond to me for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and it says red, and I'm like, you motherfucker, I thought we were friends. So I get it, but Airsoft Fatty iDubbbz is a completely different situation, I think. But he made that documentary fantastic. You should definitely watch it. Because it's like that, and I hope things like that keep coming from Mike Klum, because he's obviously over the top talented. So I'm really, really excited to see what happens. I see Blabs in the chat. Love you. FC Flux as well. How you doing, baby?
Let's go.
But yeah, dude, we need to get Boogie on immediately and talk about this stuff. They started up the Lolcow podcast.
Oh yeah. The Lolcow podcast. Yeah. They started that up, and it's Boogie, it's Wings, and some other guy I'm not familiar with, but
Tommy C.
Do you know who Tommy C is? I don't know who that is.
My first month on YouTube, I think I hit like 30K subs.
Wow.
And,
in a month?
Well, I put out videos for like 4 months, 5 months, and nobody was watching. And then I quit because I was working full time at Walmart as a district manager, and it was really hard. It was really stressful. So I took like 2 weeks off, and I went to bed, or I went to bed one day. I was at my friend's graduation, went to bed, and woke up with just thousands of notifications. And I was like, what's happening? And I look, and I had 9,000 subs. And every time I refreshed it, there'd be like 1,000 or 2 more.
Wow. Was this from your, like, I'm 30 something years old and I have no friends?
No, that also happened. But this was a few years before that. I just made a video. It was called I worked at GameStop 11 years. Here's my story.
That's right.
And I saw somebody that had a similar video, and they worked at GameStop for 3 months, and it had like 1 million views. And I was like, what? I worked there for 11 years. And the things that they covered in their video were super, like, you work there one day. Like, They don't sell you new games that are sealed always. Like, holy, really? My manager used to have sex with hookers in the back room. Like, are you kidding? That's all you got is to open new games? So I like made a video talking about all the crazy shit I've seen. And about 10,000 people watched it because I put it on Reddit, and it hit the front page for like a day. And so it had like 10,000 views. And then I put out subsequent videos every 3 days, and 200 videos, 200 views, 500 views, 200 views, 500 views. And then I kind of stopped. And then one day that video went from 10,000 views to 1 million in like one day.
Wow.
And then I had 30,000 subs in 3 days. And
did you post it on Reddit, or did somebody post it for you?
I just posted on Reddit on /videos or r/videos. Yeah, that's how it all started, man. It's wild.
That's great, man.
Really cool.
Reddit is I think I have an account on Reddit, but I don't know the last time I actually went on Reddit. I don't know if I've actually posted. Maybe I have. Maybe some silly things. But man, we got some ducks in here. Let's go.
I only have that because of her. But real quick let me finish my point, because I totally got off track. Tommy C. 1 month into 1 month into that blow up, when that happened, Tommy C messaged me on Discord, and he was like, you should come on my show. And I was like, okay, I don't even know who any of these people are. I was real new. And it was like a talk. It was like this, like we're doing now. And we just talked about GameStop for like an hour or two. And he was the first person that ever platformed me ever.
There you go.
It was really cool. And I'll always be thankful that he did that. Regardless of what may happen or what have not happened in the past. I haven't been following him, but I'm really glad he's on the Lolcow podcast, because that's cool. And he's very engaging, and he really tries to rile people up on a show, which is, I don't like to do that, but it is an art form, because he does it. He'll just start freaking, Boogie, you're a bitch. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill myself. What's happening? Why is he screaming at Boogie? Boogie's like, you a pussy. You big fat pussy. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
You can call me that if you want.
Well, you ain't fat at all. It's hard. Oh, okay. But I got invited on the Lolcow podcast like a month ago.
Did you?
And then that drama broke out where the producer was some random guy. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, Keemstar. There was apparently a group chat, And the group chat had all the people involved. It had, Boogie, Wings, Tommy C, I think, or DSP maybe, Keemstar. All these people were in this group chat, and then a producer for the show. Well, it turns out that whoever added the producer to the group chat, they typed in the wrong Twitter handle. So it was a random dude that was producing the show. Random dude. And he apparently was messaging all these people to get him on the show. And I think that's the guy that messaged me. He was like, "Hey, Camelot, you want to come on to the Lolcow podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That'd be great. Wings, Boogie, let's go." And then I think that was I don't think, because Keemstar's been in my chat several times, but I don't think that was him. So speaking of being in my chat, Hayden, a pink boy to end all pink boys. Bros, we are closing in on Naked Snake fast. We're 180 away already via Luscious Granny. Thanks for becoming a member on Rumble, and Toasty with a Mosty. Thanks for becoming a member on YouTube. It says, "Hell, Cody and Craig. Hell, chat. Hell, the 199. Cody, have you looked at the U.S. government trying to take over the internet?" Yes, we're actually going to talk about that today. Craig talked about it on his side scroll. It's a very important story. We were going to talk about that. Craig informed me on it and filled me in. Very spicy. Something the government's been trying to do for years with SOPA and all these things. They're trying to take the anonymity and trying to take everything away from the internet. And Google, and they've already got their hands on Google. They got their hands on all social media. Look at Twitter when it was freaking employed by FBI agents and shit back in the day, and still is to this day. But Google censors its results depending on who you are. So there's things going on already. But the U.S. government wants to be in complete control of it, and that can only be bad. That can only be bad. That's like North Korea, because that's what they do. You muted Craig.
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was drinking out of my water. I'll say this, man. I have never, ever been a political person. And when Side Scroller started, the whole intention of it was to not be political at all and to provide people an opportunity to step away from that stuff.
Yeah.
And as we've gone, I think it's a very noble mission. But the show has evolved because all this stuff is just ingrained in gaming culture. It is ingrained with the internet. So it's literally impossible to not talk about this stuff. If you want to have a relevant show, this is the stuff that you need to talk about. You need to address it. But this stuff that's being thrown down by the government is insane, or at least being proposed. And this has been a long push for a long time. And it really comes to a head on Wednesday, and nobody's talking about this. This is on Wednesday, like 48 hours from now. The future of the internet in the United States could potentially pivot, and nobody's talking about it. Why is nobody talking about it? Why even people are, why is the mainstream media not covering it? Why don't you hear about this on CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, whatever? Because they want it to happen.
Yep.
They want it to happen. Of course they want it to happen, because they want the internet to play by the same rules they have to. You can say this, you can't say this, you can talk about this, you can't talk about that, you can't say these words. But the internet is too open. It allows for too much discussion. It allows for there to be contrarian opinions. Could you imagine if just 3 years ago, if there weren't contrarian opinions to the narrative that was being thrown around? It would have been insane. If there's only one message, if there's only one voice. And if you think that, like, people, I said this on the show earlier, if you don't think this affects you, if you're watching this show, what do you think is going to happen to shows like Side Scrollers? What do you think is going to happen to CAMELCAST? What do you think is going to happen to Friday Night Tights and Tuesday Night's Main Events? And pick even shows on pick your favorite Ethan Klein, H3 Podcast. What do you think is going to happen to those shows? Same exact stuff. It's going to flatten everything out. It's going to literally dismantle the internet as you know it, because no hyperbole, it will nuke the internet. It will decimate it. It will level it out, and it will all be rubble. And everything you thought about the internet, how fun it is, oh, you can have it. Nah, it's gone. It's gone.
It'll be the exact same situation that we say to this day. God, the internet in 2006 was the Wild Wild West. It was so fun back then. We're going to be saying that about right now. And the issue is the rise of independent media, the rise of Craig, the rise of F&T, the rise of people on Rumble. a lot of political commentators on Rumble, the Mug Club, Steven Crowder, people like that. The government wants to be like, yeah, you're going to be watching Anderson Cooper. You're not allowed to be on here. We got to have Anderson Cooper's gay ass up here being annoying as hell and acting fake concerned. No one wants to see that shit no more. No one wants the dude in a freaking suit, all clean shaven, acting concerned and reading a teleprompter. It's over. We're not interested in that type of content anymore. We want real people talking about real issues, and the government's not okay with that because they want to insert their opinions and their approved opinion. You'll notice that celebrities, corporations, giant business, giant tech corporations, and politicians, generally on one side, but a lot on both, all approve of the corporately approved opinion. Okay. But then celebrities will say they're being edgy when they say F Trump. Yeah, eat my ass. And speaking of eating my ass, Drylas.
What a transition. What a transition. Let's go.
Drylas! Oh my God. Much love. I'm here forever. Love. Number 3, it's right beside his name. Drylas has been here, I think, since the first or second week I started streaming when I was in my 20s. And I'm in my mid-30s now. And this dude is still here. You can see the 3 beside his name. He's been here. That's the maxed out member logo, by the way, that I have.
Hey, I'll tell you this is what we're going to do. For all those red boys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start here. We're going to start up here. Pick this bad boy out. Let's just stick this out. Here we go. We're going to start here. Every other red boy that comes in just comes down a little bit more.
Oh
just
my
a little
God.
bit,
It's showing a little neck.
more.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
That's all you get right now. Every other red boy that comes in is coming down just a little bit more.
Man, if this was like the 1920s, I'd be rock hard. Thank you, Drylas. Appreciate you, Drylas, so much for all your support. That puts us 60 away from Naked Snake, all ready for the 233rd stream in a row. Drylas is the GOAT. And don't forget, Mike Klum is here. Mike Klum!
Let's go. We were just talking about you, Mike. We were just talking about how talented you are.
We were literally. Dude, yeah, it's so exciting. So excited for the content that Mike's going to be putting out over the next year or two because you know it's going to be great. It's going to
get him on, man.
Oh, I've been thinking about it. I wanted to get Boogie on Saturday and then get Mike Klum on after. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm all for it. And also, people don't know who I am because my Twitter got banned.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's kind of hard.
That's okay. Well, Mike, you're like we were just talking about you. Super talented. Legit, you skyrocketed up to like numero uno documentary maker on YouTube. Congratulations! In one document. But you're my boy, Mike. I look forward to figuring out a way to work together, man.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody would ever one up Full Force by iDubbbz, and he did because it was real. It was a very real, a real and serious and well done documentary. Hopefully he brings out some more. I can't wait to see what he's got to offer. If you want to talk to me, Mike, if you're still here, I love you. I appreciate you, gold boy. And here's my booking agent Twitter on Twitter for scheduling shows. Love to have you on, talk to you about all the things you got coming up.
The booking agent, that's right.
Yeah, I got it.
They're easy to work with, by the way.
Yeah, easy, super
really,
easy.
Yeah.
Pony Up says, Craig, do you think you could encourage Colin to come on Nick's stream or maybe introduce them? I have a political discussion between these two. I'd love a political discussion between these two.
Oh yeah. Colin Moriarty. Colin's a stud, man. I think a lot of Colin, what he's built just in the gaming space in his business. Do you know Colin's story? Colin Moriarty?
I don't think so.
So brief background on Colin. Colin was worked at IGN for a long time, and then he spun off IGN, I don't know, a decade ago or so, with Greg Miller to start Kind of Funny. Do you know what Kind of Funny is?
Yep.
Okay. So Colin was there when Kind of Funny started. It was originally supposed to be, and I'm going off of the interview that I had with Colin because I learned this during the interview.
Right.
It was originally going to be just him and Greg Miller, but they brought along Nick Scarpino and Tim Geddes along with him, who also worked at IGN. So they formed Kind of Funny. After a couple of years, everything was great. After a couple of years, I think the long and short of it was they're in San Francisco, and Colin is. I don't even think he was conservative at the time, but he wasn't liberal. He wasn't like crazy, insane liberal.
Right.
And that kind of got in the way of his relationship with Greg and therefore their business and ultimately their company. So He more or less got booted out of the company. Went out, started his own company, and now he's pulling way bigger numbers than Kind of Funny does. And like, good for him, man. I think Colin's a stud. So,
oh yeah, that's good. That's great. And I love seeing stories like that. I love seeing people break away and just start nuking it into orbit. It's like Disparu. Now I don't know. I think Disparu might still work for Geeks and Gamers. I think that's how he got his start, but his channel went through the roof. Oh yeah, so happy for him. Stuff like that. It's really cool to see. A little bit of a different situation, but yeah, I really like to see that. And to be fair, I wish a lot of video game publications would just die. Kotaku's a great one.
Oh, they'll be dead soon.
Oh, I can't wait, man. There was probably 4 different occasions where I put out a video about GameStop, and it was like earth shattering because I used to have people that worked in the corporate office that would like message me and send me memos and be like, bro, we got some shit going on, right? And I would cover that kind of stuff, and it was awesome. Now no one trusts me, and they've all been fired anyway up to this point. And they would send me this info, and I would leak it in a video, and Kotaku would make an article about it and not mention me every single time. The biggest one ever was I leaked a conference call that I was on. This video went nuclear. Every YouTuber talked about it. Like every one of them had made a video about it, and it got like 400,000 views. It did really good. And it was just basically the conference call where the corporate team and the executives were telling the employees, we know COVID is scary, but you're going to come into work, and if you don't, you're fired, and we're not going to pay you if you get sick. And they were being real dickish about it, like real matter of fact. And this was before anybody knew what COVID was. Right. This was the very beginning. So I was like, man, this is pretty screwed up. So I just leaked the call and commentated over it. And it went through the roof. And a week later, Kotaku put out an article, and it's like, oh, conference call leaked, GameStop, blah, blah, blah. By the way, GameStop was refusing to close their doors. You know how most businesses were closing? GameStop said they were going to continue to stay open because they are a, what is it? What did they call them?
Right to work? No,
it was, if it was a certain store, they said they had to stay open because they had to, because God, what did they call it? They had a phrase for it. Like they were required to be open because they were so important to people. Somebody in the chat will say it. It's been so long now. Essential business.
Essential, yes, essential workers.
So they said they were an essential business, and the reason they were because they sold AA batteries. Not even joking. So I released that call 2 days after I released the call. GameStop closed nationwide.
Look at you. You
closed nationwide. So Kotaku made an article, and they're like, conference call leaked, blah, 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 blah. Right. And I'm like, oh my God, Kotaku made an article about me. And I go read it. And the only thing they even kind of mentioned was conference call leaked by a YouTuber. No, they did not mention who I was. Nothing. And I was like, the cannibals, vultures and cannibals, that they're supposed to be journalists, and all they do is copy and paste and steal shit. They don't even do any journalism. Yeah. They steal from actual journalists. So it's very annoying, and I've always hated them ever since. Thought they were gross.
We've had run-ins with Kotaku and Polygon and all that over the years. I mean, many of their editors in chief I've ran into many times and butted heads. There was one in particular, probably one of the, like, this is 2008 maybe. Do you remember Soulja Boy? Yeah. So Soulja Boy was he was like the hot thing. He was doing this, the Crank That at the time. What was that? What it's called? Crank That. And he was like the hot thing in the game. He says, "Oh my gosh, a Raptor's in the gaming space. We got to talk to him." And I remember they did. I think his name was Steven Totillo, maybe. He was at MTV Multiplayer blog, who later I think he became the editor in chief of Kotaku or Polygon or one of those. But MTV Multiplayer brought in Soulja Boy to do like a game competition, and they played Street Fighter 2, and neither of them knew how to throw a fireball. Like neither. I was like, how do you play Street Fighter 2 in a gaming competition, not how to throw a fireball? So we did this rap response to him, and it's pretty awesome back in the pretty brilliant. But yeah, I've always been very critical of the gaming journalists, in the space. There's, obviously the meme of gaming journalists aren't really gamers. They're just, activists. But
no, they all are. They're all activists. Every other article is like, we're really concerned this new character in this game's not a woman or not gay. It's like, why does it have to be a gay woman and everything? The new Avengers, they've already announced 3 or confirmed 3 of the new Avengers, and they're all like young women that are all of course different colors. And I'm like, let me guess, the other 3 Avengers are going to be 2 other women and 1 effeminate male, and every one of them is going to be gay except for one of them. Right. And then I think Dan Vasquez or somebody said, plot twist, the only male is going to be a black guy and he's going to be gay. And I'm like, shocking. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Yeah, man, come on. This formula doesn't work anymore, and journalists want it so bad, but nobody's buying it. They're pandering to an audience that doesn't even buy their content, and they're alienating their core audience, the only people that was buying the content. It's the craziest strategy. I can't believe it's not working. Look at Five Nights at Freddy's, Craig. That it went through the roof. Complete box office success. The director said, we're making a movie for the fans, and anything else you can eat my ass. Guess what? It was profitable. If Disney came out and said, hey, we're going to reboot Marvel and we're going to make it for the fans, no ifs, ands, and buts, no pandering. Their first movie, like the new Avengers, and it has all these like new characters, $1 billion. But they won't do it because they're all worried about that sweet, delicious ESG financing for their projects. They can give 2 shits about their money they're making.
You think that's real?
Yeah.
You hear about that all, the ESG, the money that's being 100%. Handed in, push an agenda.
100%. There was
Whose money is that? Whose money is this?
I don't know, it's freaking central banks or something. There was a big live event, and there was some guy speaking. He looks like a monster, like a goblin. He's apparently this super rich dude in charge of this bank. Somebody in the chat will probably pull up his name in 2 seconds. But he was giving a speech, and he was talking about ESG and banks. And he said, and this was like in 2017, and he said, eventually, if banks and media companies and whatever choose not to use this, we will get rid of them. We will get rid of them. They will not be around. They must adopt these ideas or die. Somebody's saying Klaus Schwab. It's Klaus Schwab. That's it. See how fast you guys are? How you guys so fast at this? Matthio every time is getting, he's like, I know everybody. I know everybody's name. BlackRock. Yep. Klaus Schwab. Yep. Ray Finkel. Nope. Booger Boss. What the hell's wrong with you?
Laces out.
Oh my God. I had a crush on Ray Finkel, like the woman in that movie.
Really?
She was hot. She wasn't a real man.
I always thought she had like kind of like that type of woman never interested me. The kind of the overly like, I don't know. You know what it was? It was her nose. I wasn't a big fan of her nose. And I think that trickled down to, I felt like she had kind of mannish figures before she was Ray Finkel,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I think it's a fetish of mine. Like, I like women that are built, got like abs, jacked, and can pick me up and carry me. But I don't know if I'd want to be with one. I just want one to sit on my face. You know?
Well, you know, I mean, at least you're honest, you know?
I got news for you. Yeah. So, no. But that brings us to our next topic of discussion, and that's the completionist. So just now, out of nowhere, the completionist, who I've met several times at conventions, talked to, something's going on. So there is this accusation that looks pretty concrete of withholding over $600,000 in donations to, or that was supposed to be for charities. It's a donation fund or a charity that the completionist has. It's right here. You guys know who this is. I always forget his name. It's a goofy name.
Gerard.
Yes. I have a friend named Gerard, and I'm always like, that's such a weird name. But it says right here, the content created behind the popular YouTube channel, The Completionist, and his family have been accused of not contributing any funds it's raised to any organizations for dementia research, despite claiming to do so. Well, they could just pull an Amber Heard here, Craig, and be like, oh, we pledged the money, so it's fine. Right.
I think so. So it's Carl, I think it's Jopes or Jops, Carl Jopes.
Yep.
And Mudahar. They're the ones who kind of broke this story. And I'll say this. I've known Gerard for a long time. He was around in the Screw Attack days. He was actually a member of our community. He posted completionist videos when completionist was just getting going. And I've seen him, rise from community member to main internet dude. He is he's a good dude. And I will say this situation, there's a lot of leaks in the boat. There's a lot of questions when it comes to why you wouldn't put the money in to a situation, because it's not the way it's implied. The way the story is implied is like they took it, they embezzled it, and then they spent it. But that's not the case. They have it. It's just more or less been sitting in a bank account.
Yeah.
From the start. So it's an interesting story, and I feel like there's a lot of layers to it. And the fact that they actually talked to him about it, which is not done enough, because in their videos they show the conversations that they had with him, because they reached out and said, "Hey, what's up with this?" And Gerard, to his credit, came out and talked about it. I think that's really, really great. I'm sorry. Can we stop for a second? I need to unzip my shirt a little bit.
Oh, yes. Because Hayden dropped a red boy. Oh, my God. This guy's a maniac. Says Craig, ESG is 100% real. It's pushed by the World Economic Forum and major stakeholders in Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, are BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. They handle lots for retirement accounts too. They're pushing ESG, no compliance, no loans. That's exactly 100% accurate. Thank you for putting that in a much better way than I can. But you know, I grew up in a trailer park, so it's hard.
Hayden's my boy from Texas. He's a Texas boy like me. So Hayden and I don't disagree. I think that the reason why I go like, is it real? Is because it seems like such an evil plan from such like a bad guy movie, like an evil villain type thing, you know? And it just like this, what's amazing is that sometimes fact is more stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were to watch a movie and they're like, look, here's the thing. We have all this money. We're going to make all these things and we're going to push this agenda, blah, 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 blah. You'd be like, that good thing that's a movie and it's not real. That would never happen, you know? And here we are, man. Here we are.
So you bring up a great point. So I'm going to give my rundown. So this is the redneck trailer park explanation on what's going on.
Please.
And I'm going to give you my complete rundown. It's like a minute long. It's like an elevator thing. Thank you, Hayden, by the way. You're the man. I love you. I don't deserve that shit. I'm so overwhelmed, guys. I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. There's just red boys all over at the top of the screen and pink boys. I appreciate that, guys. I'll cover them again.
Hey, let's keep it going. You hear it? Hear that? We're staying up until them red boys start flopping in.
Suddenly it's the 40s now. Oh my God. So here's what's going on. It was an idea. I read a lot of like government structure, and it fascinates me. One of my favorite books is Ordinary Men. I forget, this has got a really long title, but it's about Nazi Germany. It's very interesting human behaviors around these things. So the Soviet Union came up with this idea, and this idea, which they were trying to implement, was destabilizing through propaganda other countries. And the way they did it was demasculating men and pushing unpopular ideas social ideas that would destabilize an entire people, so you could go into the country and take it over without firing an actual bullet. And that really resonated with me. And it's something that I'm noticing right now. So if you've noticed that, I'm sure you've noticed, I mean, you're online, just like I am. Almost every single conversation is around trans rights and all these things. And, you know, take that as you will, but these conversations start to devolve into MAPS rights and people that are attracted to children and animals and things.
No, hold on. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Do not say the word maps.
I agree.
I agree. What they are.
I agree.
That is a horrible. And as a father of two children, I will slice a throat if you come at me with that.
I agree.
I
agree.
I ain't doing that.
I agree. So a lot of topics of discussion, especially around universities, especially around political conversations, is around these things. Now, if you get on TikTok, if you get on TikTok and you scroll through TikTok, I re-downloaded it like 2 months ago. I was like thinking about maybe it'd be good to add some shorts. That I have like 1,000 shorts now, and I'm like, I can backlog these onto a new account. And I scrolled for 2 seconds, and every single TikTok was a purple-haired 14-year-old girl with autism, like screeching about you're murdering us, trans rights, blah blah blah, you know, children. So, and it's just every one of them without fail. And I'm like, this is crazy. Well, plot twist. If you log on to TikTok in China, keep in mind China, the Chinese government pretty much owns TikTok. So if you log on to TikTok in China, every single TikTok that is pushed on the algorithm is something based off STEM, math, engineering, science.
Right.
It's all to push their youth into the STEM field to make a stronger Chinese government, a stronger Chinese populace. If you look at any Western country, the only thing the algorithm wants to push is all these things that destabilize the people. The app that is doing this is a Chinese app.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious that it's to destabilize the U.S. so they can come in and take over without firing a bullet. San Francisco recently, 2 days ago. San Francisco is the homeless capital of the world. There are people lining the streets on every single road in tents and whatnot. Well, turns out Chinese president, dictator, Xi Jinping went to San Francisco, was visiting Gavin Newsom, all them people. Guess what they did within a couple days?
I thought I saw this. I thought I saw and you putting that together I was like, why would they just clean up Chinatown?
Yep.
Oh, now I get it. Oh my gosh.
It's because they had a communist dictator coming to a free country and they cleaned up the homeless to impress the Chinese dictator. Why? Because he owns us. We can't offend him. He owns us.
It's like your kids cleaning up their room because they, I'm going to check your room. I'm coming over to check your room. Make sure it's clean. Okay, Dad.
They can't do it for their own citizens who they tax into poverty. My property taxes, Craig, were $700 5 years ago. My property taxes now are $8,000. I live in Alabama. It's China. China might already own us. We don't even know. They might already own our whole country. We wouldn't know. Now, what's the best way to make it to where we don't find out? We've come full circle, Craig. They're voting on it in 2 days. Yep. Have complete control of the government or the internet. The Chinese government already controls their internet. Well, it's pretty obvious.
Can we get a round of applause for Cam bringing that all the way full circle back to the topic? The big round circle. That was masterful hosting, Cam.
Thank you.
Masterful.
Trailer park explanations always work.
That was excellent. Wonderful.
We used to have to run in circles to run away from the Rottweiler that lived in the trailer park. So I got real good at going in circles. Speaking of circles, Hayden, love you. Appreciate you. Google Cloud Shop. He wears Bond villain clothes to events. That is not a joke, actually. Not hard to find these pictures. Politics has been my circle for 15 years, and I'll just get back into more fun stuff over the years. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you for all your support, and thank you for getting us on a cool topic because it's really fun to talk about these things. Really eye-opening, and a lot of people need to know about these things, especially when they're trying to take our internets away from us, because this is my internet, damn it. Andrew Van Halen. Do you remember AlphaOmegaSin? I miss his commentary. I loved his voice and mannerisms because he was strange. I used to watch his all of his Resident Evil content, everything he did. He came back for like 2 seconds and then left again, which is weird.
So AlphaOmegaSin is a guy who's actually been offered up to do an interview with. Do you think you should have him on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do an interview with him. I think it's cool. We have so Alpha, he was Screw Attack as well back in the day. He was a community member. And so, the tentacles run deep on the interwebs these days. So yeah, I would love to have Alpha on for sure. Yeah, I would love to have anybody on. I'm just really sad that my Twitter got banned, because when my Twitter got banned, and I've told you, I don't know if you've seen this clip. I had a popular clip come out where I was really pissed and I was kind of venting. And there was, and I think you texted me and was like, "Hey man, were you talking about me?" And I'm like, "No, not at all. We talk all the time. No, we text each other all the time." No, it was I sent out like 50 emails total, and because I was trying to get my month lined up and scheduling, and not one person responded. One person out of 50, and it was Ola England. Can you believe it? Ola freaking England responded. He was the only one, and he said he wanted to set something up in January, and I was like, "All right, cool." But no one else did. And RazörFist was one of the only people that responded because he's old like us, so he checks his email. So, but dude, without a Twitter, it's almost impossible. So I got the booking agent to make a Twitter, and now my shows are starting to get booked. I have like 5 shows booked. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Let's go. So I had a big vent session where I was really pissed about it, and it was clipped and it was on YouTube and a bunch of places. And yeah, but make sure you guys do follow that Twitter. For the business inquiries, and also follow it just because it is tied to me, so you would like to be involved in that. That's that booking agent, man. They're big deal. Big deal. And speaking of a big deal, Dryless. Oh my God, he's on fire. 1 inch at a time. You got to keep them wanting more, but it's coming, baby. It's coming off.
You're way too good at making that look seductive. We're like, oh,
bring it you got to bring it in.
Yeah.
That's my previous life of working as a dancer.
Previous life. Oh god. Oh,
No,
I'd be pretty good at it.
I know you would. That's the thing. It's not, like you're like this attractive guy who's built. I'm just the skinny, tall, like string bean dude who's like, hey, look at me, I'm sexy. You know.
Dryless, thank you, my friend. He says, bullshit, dumbing down the USA. It isn't Biden and this. It isn't Biden. It's his handlers. That's for damn sure. That poor bastard. They try to like walk him off like to the left of the stage, and then he just turns and starts shaking the hand of somebody invisible, and then like walk. I'm like, oh fuck. Look, it's just brutal.
And you can clip this, you can take this wherever you want on the internet, but I don't know how anybody, like literally 100% of people, can't look at the United States and be like, yeah, we were better off like 4 years ago than we are right now. Like, I don't know. There's a 0% chance the United States is in a better spot than it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Like, how can anybody be like, yeah, we're doing great? Like,
yeah,
what?
Regardless of your political affiliation.
Right.
The only thing making people say that is tribalism. I don't belong to any party. I voted Democrat until I was in my 20s. And then I kind of just got out of it because it was all seemed silly and fake to me. Because I was like, oh, Obama, let's do this. And then he was like, I was paying $37 a pay period for my health insurance. And then 2012 hit. And then suddenly it went up to $300 a pay period overnight. And I was like, cancel. And I was like, oh, I goofed. I made a mistake. But yeah, whatever. So I kind of got out of it. But I like to look at both things and look at everything from an outside perspective. And the only people saying that life's better now than it was 4 years ago are people that are controlled by tribalism, because gas is more expensive. My property taxes are up 600%. Inflation is up. Interest rates are my interest rate on my last car was 2.9%. My interest rate on my truck I just bought was almost 8%. And I have great credit. Like everything's going through the roof. Everything's falling. Every other day we're hearing about there's a possibility of World War III. And these are all the things that people claim was going to happen once Trump was elected. It's the same. Oh, he's going to, except for the black people in chains thing. That's weird. I don't know why they keep saying it. I saw that shit on Twitter the other day, and I'm like, oh, they're already starting the rounds early. It's like, if Trump gets elected, black people are going to be in chains. I'm like, do you guys even like reread what the fuck you say?
I can't, like, I could.
What the hell?
Like, take Trump out of it. I could care less. I could care less. Just look at everything else in the society was better. Like literally everything. Yeah. And it's way more than just the cost of living is a big thing, but literally everything, the way people treated each other was better. You know, like society was in a better place. Now, I don't know. Really what I think a lot of it is I think it starts and stops with social media. Social media. Like if and this is where things get messy, because I very much believe in free speech. But if let's just say United States would be like, hey, by the way, no more Twitter, no more Facebook, no more TikTok, no more social media. I think at first I'd be like, okay. Yeah. but I totally understand. Like I use Twitter every day for everything, right? And it goes against the idea of, like, once again, what would happen to this show, right? Because YouTube social media, Rumble social media, it's just a video platform of social media. So if we could just drop like TikTok's the main one. If we could just get rid of TikTok, I think we'd be in pretty good shape.
TikTok's the one that's destroying the youth, I think. Well, all of them are, but I think TikTok's the worst. But you're right. Now, I'm not in favor of social media just being nuked to orbit, but I will 100% admit the social media destroyed human interaction, and it destroyed everything else. It's almost like road rage all the time, because people will scream at each other when they're in their car, but as soon as they get out, they're docile, right? So it's the same way as social media. People are they will say the most heinous shit because they know they will suffer zero consequences, but they would never say that to somebody in real life because they get the shit kicked out of them, and they're trying to avoid that. We don't really have that check and balance anymore, and it's made people become the most hateful, psycho freaking pieces of shit that's ever existed. There's people that go around to every one of my streams. Probably you have them too. They go around to every one of my streams being like, Camelot scammed everybody in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that was 3 years ago. Okay. And I only scammed them out of like 14 grand. It wasn't even that much. Come on. Jesus.
Right.
So, no, that people call me scammer every day because people like Dryless.
So
Going ham.
Right. And I think what's amazing is like I have people, it's getting to the point where it's almost like DSP, where he has these detractors, right? I have people who and I say people, it's like 3 or 4 people who are so obsessed with me. And all they do is they watch everything that I do, and they're probably watching this. They're going to watch the argument. Did he say anything that we can take and clip and point and laugh? And they're all, and I don't care about them because they're all like literally every single one of them are broken people. Like they were all broken by 2020. They were all broken by 2016. And they're all like, I said this the other day, everybody's broken. Literally everybody. 100% of people are broken. It's just a matter of how much you let that piece that's broken of you dictate your life. And these people let the tiniest little things, well, I'm this, I'm that. I have a, I'm pick anything that they perceive as some sort of minority or any sort of thing that's not quote unquote normal. They see it as a detriment and some sort of victim mentality. And I'm tired of that. I don't deal with victims on a day-to-day basis, right? If you want to be a victim, go be a victim, but don't do it around me, man. And that's goes back to the initial guys. Like, oh, you say you listen to I do listen to everybody, but when you're annoying and you say, well, like I don't have time for whiners. I'm 42 years old. You're gonna go complain. Go be a child in college, complaining about whatever. I got no time for that, man. Quit acting like a child. Be a grown up, and let's move on. Yeah,
and the biggest thing about all these people, what they have in common is they ain't got no bitches. That's what's going on.
Oh my gosh, yes,
ain't got no bitches. Like, dude, if you had like a fat ass in front of you, you ain't gonna be on the internet chasing people. No. That's what you need. What we need to do instead of deleting social media, okay, we need to get a government fund, and it delivers all these psycho dudes that are like have neck beards and have bathed in a week. Like, deliver them like a 6, like an Arkansas 6 to their door. And then suddenly there's no more people that are trying to get you swatted.
They wouldn't know what to do, man. They wouldn't even know what to do.
Shaking in the corner and not being able to have a conversation because they're scared. You know what I'm saying?
That's well, and you're not wrong. Is that all these dudes they've never been touched.
No bitches.
They've never been touched. And like, even if they like, I know, because I've met some of them, right? And they're nice guys. They were nice guys. They just are consumed by victimhood and honestly consumed by hate. Like, there's a big difference for me. I don't do the victim thing. I never have done the victim thing. And if you do the victim thing, I don't like call it cold-blooded or whatever. I don't have room for you. I don't have time to deal with your victimhood. And that's why, I left a company called Game Attack that I started, and like everybody there was a victim. And that was the saddest thing about it. Like, everybody wanted to be a victim. Like, we had community members. Oh, I'm a victim. It's like, suck it up, sack up, grow up, and do something about it. Quit being a victim. It's everybody's crying about things. Stop crying. Grow up. Sorry.
Yeah, stop relying on celebrities and the government to save you, because no one is coming to save you. It is all you, baby. This is how it is, man. This is how somebody said legalize prostitution, 100%. See, like, people think, oh, Cody, you're a right wing guy. No, man, I'm legalized prostitution across the board. I'm all for it. Let's go. All right, stop the damn swatting. Johan says the Chinese government owns 58.3% of our catalyzed debt. Cody, we're a vassal state of China from Marta. 100%, dude. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Johan. Johan knows shit. Tonight, thank you, Johan. I love you, Cable dude. New member.
Let's go.
New member. What's up? New member. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Everybody comes a member. Swift kiss to your penis. I mean, your face. Appreciate that. Fire PA says, wanted to say, love what you're doing with Side Scrollers. Can't catch a lot of live shows, but the clip's been great, especially that Nerdrotic. Dude, we got to talk about Side Scrollers for a second.
Please.
I went on there. It's been a long time since I went on there the first time, but I've been on there a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Great show. Every time we end it, every time you turn off the show, I'm like, well, that went too fast. I'm always like, that kind of seemed like it went too fast. I was having fun. But I've watched that show go from, a very respectable 100 concurrent, 150 concurrent to 500, 800, 1,000, 1,400 concurrent. You've been doing such an awesome job. And it's been so, dude, I saw you hit 50K overnight like the other day. I was like, yeah, I was like cheering at my house.
Awesome.
Because, you put in so much damn work. And what people don't realize about this is so much work's involved, man. So much 24/7 on social media.
Yeah.
24/7. You got to be on it. You got to be talking to people and trying to set up stuff. That's before we even talk about videos. I have 1 or 2 daily videos on my clip channel every day, 1 or 2. And it blew up recently. Went from nothing to 10K subs in like a month.
That's awesome.
And it was just the algorithm noticed it finally. I was getting 100 views per clip, and all of a sudden I was getting 100,000 views for like a week straight. It's crazy. So I was like, yay. And my editor does a great job, but I pay him, so it's me. I pay him, so it's me.
Right.
But sometimes I go in there and edit titles because he sucks a little bit. But no, still, you get out what you put in. As long as you got a good mic, a good camera, and you're able to talk and convey your point in a decent manner, if you put the work in, you can do it. And that's what separates people. You were talking about this a second ago, Craig. Let's do a full circle. You were talking about victimhood. People complain and cry and sit there. I want to do this. I would love to be a streamer. I'd love to do all these things. I want to do this, but no one would watch me. No one likes me. No one supports me. That the fact that you won't start because you're already saying you're a failure is the reason why people like Craig, which he pushing every single day, numbers, 80, 100 concurrent 6-8 months ago, and all of a sudden, dude, he's up there. Side Scrollers is one of the top shows that I see on my damn page every day.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I start the show saying we're the #1 video game podcast in the world. It's because I mean that. Side Scrollers will be the #1 video game podcast in the world. We're going to be the #1 daily video game podcast in the world. Because in a year from now, we're going to be doing 3 times the numbers we're doing. In 5 years from now, we're going to be Joe Rogan in the video game space. And like I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe that, because I know that we're going to grow alongside you, alongside Geeks and Gamers, alongside Nerdrotic. And I know that I have confidence in me. I have confidence in Blabs. I have confidence in our community that they know what we're doing on a day-to-day basis is different, and it's special, and it's needed. That's probably the biggest thing, is that it's needed, because the video game world is so insane, so stupid, so backwards, and they're all in their stupid bubbles. They're so stupid that people just want common sense. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
They just want people to say, you're not insane. And they want to be able to say, when you go to Target and you see Black Wheelchair Santa, be like, that's dumb. Like when you see, like,
I saw that. I saw Black Wheelchair Santa.
Like, what? Like, it's the dumbest thing in the world. So like you need to be able to point and laugh at things. And that's really what we do. And Side Scrollers was I started Side Scrollers in 2006, right? It was the podcast on Screw Attack, and now it's its own standalone brand. And we've done the same, like it's been the same philosophy since the start, which is more or less talk about video game news, entertainment stuff, and point and laugh at stupid things. And that's what we do. It's not a crazy philosophy, but we do it consistently. We work hard. I mean, like, I wake up and I start working on Side Scrollers. Blabs probably in the chat right now doing stuff. She's always doing. I get DMs from her in the middle of the night about stories and stuff. And Blabs has been like a blessing. It's more than me. It's Blabs. It's our mods. It's the community. And like I truly, and I don't say that like arrogantly, like at all, but like we're going to grow. But I really feel like we're going to do it, because we have a different message. We're all passionate about it, and we all believe it. We're not like BSing our way through this. We're all working hard from top to bottom, and it's exciting, man. The channel is relatively small right now, 50-something thousand subscribers. But in a year from now, we'll be at 200, hopefully, and we'll be, we're going to get there, and we can't do it without y'all's help, which is why which is why every day, you know, when you start with something as bold of a statement as you know, the #1 video game podcast in the world, video game and entertainment podcast, like it's a bold statement. But I feel like, and I go back to, you know, speaking of Rich, when I started Side Scrollers back in February, I put a tweet out, something along the lines of like, you know, say it with your chest and make sure everybody knows it. Like, Side Scrollers will be the #1 video game podcast in the world, right? And I mean that. And there, you're gonna have, like, it took us 6 months to really figure out what the show was. You know, to figure out what we were doing, like the vibe of the show. You know, the show's already changed generations so many times. So if people want to come watch us talk about stuff on a day-to-day basis, I think being consistent is really important. I think the clips are really important. But it's exciting. And, you know, I started Screw Attack. We started off with videos, then we did merchandise, then we did live events, then we made games. And I'm going to follow that to a T, man. We're going to do merchandise, we're going to do live events, we're going to make video games. And you know, this is the second act for me. Well, third act really, because Game Attack. But this is everything that I've learned about videos and content creation just for 2023 and 2024. Yeah.
It's been, you've been doing it and growing, and it's crazy that you just started in February. So I hope it continues to grow. It's been freaking fun to watch. Coconut says sex bots will save us, bro. I'm gonna buy like 4. Thank you. Juana Campos says, Greg, you made a fan out of me during the DSP interview, but I couldn't stand it when RTU and y'all beefed. Or I'm an RTU mod, but it was ridiculous. Yeah, the DSP show, that was like one of your first shows, right?
It was about a month in. Yeah. It was
freaking wild.
It was wild. And it, you know, to bring it back to Mike, to circle it back, right?
Yeah.
He was interesting because, you know, that was a month in, and it was kind of like our first big interview. And talking about like the show changing, that was when I first reached out to Phil to come on the show. It was meant to be just to be a part of the show. It was like, hey, you want to come on and talk some news and stuff? And I had no idea what I was stepping into with that. Like no idea. But as soon as we announced it, it was like the internet started to rumble a little bit. And it was like, dude. Oh man.
Because that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Like I saw that I saw it on Twitter and I was like, what? And I clicked it and watched the whole thing. I was like, because you don't get DSP. I mean, how did that even happen? Because I've been trying to get that goofy bastard for a long time. And I'm like the only guy that won't shame him. Like I just want to talk and like see what the hell's going on. And I was blown away. Like, how did that happen?
So Phil was a community member at Screw Attack a long time ago. And he was a community member. I met him probably several times in person, but I hadn't spoke to him in well over a decade. And when I was like looking at Side Scroller super early on, I was like, well, who can we have on? Who can we have on the show? And I was like, who in my Rolodex could I reach out to? And I was like, oh yeah, I think somebody on Twitter was like DSP. So I was like, oh yeah, Dark Side Phil. And so I found his contact information and I just emailed him. I was like, hey man, you know, you may not remember me, but you know, we crossed paths at Screw Attack a long time ago. And he was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, sure. Whatever. And he was really like cordial about it and everything was great. And honestly, everything was excellent up until even after the interview. Where things got a little wacky was after the interview, where the following day we just talked about it. And more or less, I think Phil was mostly upset at 2 things from what I gather, right? I have not followed most of it. Like, you know, I've kind of moved on. But I think the thing that he was most upset about was that we made a couple grand from that interview. Having him on, we made about $2,000. I think it was like $1,700, something like that day, from super chats and stuff.
Oh, and I see where this is going.
And he was upset.
He wanted his piece of the pie. By the way, Dallas, I love you. I love you. I'm always glad to see you, my OG bro. Thank you so much for your support. Be careful. Thank you. Stud. Yeah. So he basically wanted a piece of the pie, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we didn't expect to make any money at all, you know, on it, but certainly didn't expect the response to it. I mean, we had no idea. I think we had like 2,000 people watch, 2,500 people, maybe more. I don't remember how many we had. I need to go back and look, but it was crazy. And so he got upset about that, and he heard he had said like really insane numbers, like he's like, you made like $14,000 or something like that from that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like that, you're insane. And then the next day we just kind of did like a decompression stream where we talked about everything that had happened the following day or the previous day. And that was the first time that Adam and I had spoken since the interview. So like, it was kind of like, so what'd you think? And Adam just kind of went off and just kind of, you know, it had festered on him for the better part of 24 hours. And he went off, and I guess Phil didn't like that. So, you know, honestly, like I had people, I was streaming the other day and somebody's like, Phil's talking about the interview again. And it's like, is he really? Like the interview was like 7 or 8 months ago. It's like, like, really? Are we still on this thing? And a lot of his detractors kind of look at it as like the Super Bowl or like the magnum opus of the DSP story arc. And that's cool. You know, I know that we'll always be linked to Phil in some way, and Phil will probably always be linked to us. And the most fascinating thing about it is that we spent 5 hours with him, and like we barely touched this. We barely scratched the surface. There's so much there that I didn't even get a chance to get into. And honestly, I would love to do it again. Like,
yeah.
Am I tired of it? And I told him I would have no problem if he wants to do a part 2 on his channel and he wants to make all the money, go ahead. I don't care. Like, I would just love to have that conversation again, because there's so much that we didn't get to talk about. And I would need to do a ton of research leading back up to it, because it's, you know, the 6, 7, 8 months, however long it's been since we did it. You know, I'm sure a lot more stuff has come out. But, you know, if that ever was to happen, I'd love to make it happen. But I think that after that interview, Phil kind of went back into his shell, his protective bubble, and kind of started playing the victim card again. And was like, oh, you know, his thing is, oh, they screwed me over. It's like, we were very transparent and upfront about everything the entire time. And, you know, it is what it is. So sad day for him. But if he ever wants to do it again, hey man, let's make it happen.
Speaking of making it happen, wait. Oh my God. $100 super chat.
That's my boy CEO right there. Love that.
What is this from, Craig? You're in? Do you ever play PlayStation 1 or games past that, or
when you say past that, you mean like PlayStation 2 or 3, or like
anything? Yeah, anything like that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what is this soundbite from? Because I say it all the time and I can't help it. It's like a weird like tick I have, but it goes, guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me? What's that from?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on. Oh, the opening of Resident Evil 2 on PlayStation 1. Okay. When the trucker gets bit, he's like, guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me? God, right. It's stuck in my brain. I think about that every day. Why do I think about that stupid truck driver in the original Resident Evil on PlayStation 1 every day?
We all have those things. we all have those clips from games. There's these little things that resonate with us. I mean, like, you know, some people say like boom shakalaka, you know, or
oh my God, he's on fire. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I say that all the time too.
Of course.
It's just, yeah, I grew up in that era, so that's all I play.
Amazing stuff, man.
Thank you, Wade. I appreciate you. You're goated. I love you. Let's hit these little goal boys real quick. Yo, huh? Sex bots, once they cross the uncanny valley, will be the best future outcome for men. Let these 304s be delusional and price themselves out of the market. Men will build artificial wombs and bypass. Yeah, well, they'll have to. It'll all level out. Like, women will stop being goofy as hell all the way until they're 30 and desperate. You know, I get it. Yo, hon, I love you. I appreciate you. Right there with you, my friend. You're the man. Gordo, the scholar, says, get on it, doggone it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Did David Hayter just show up or what? Like,
Naked Snake. David Hayter.
How close are we?
We destroyed Naked Snake like an hour ago. We're at 110 or 190 from Fight Milk.
So aren't you supposed to take up a shirt or something?
Yeah, I do it like usually around 11, but
okay.
It depends on how long we get. I usually do it about 20 minutes before the end of this show.
Okay.
Just it's like a weird thing. I don't know. I don't want to distract everybody right now with my titties because they'll get weird.
I mean, the jacket's coming off. I mean, we got a few more red boys to go, I'll tell you
Oh,
what.
Jesus. Thank you, Gordo. I love you. And then real quick, Adrian Rablelo, one of my editors, his name, he says, hey, Cam, this is a Mexican. I just wanted to shamelessly plug myself to the guest in case he needs a clipper or a gardener. Thank you, my friend. Yes.
Hey, Adrian, thank you very much. And if I ever need somebody with shears, you'll be the first to reach out to.
Yeah, he's the man. Thank you, Adrian Rabello, for your 50 pesos. I appreciate you, my man. Mathayo says, you guys rock. Hope you can enjoy Fat Milk. Thank you. Appreciate that, Mathayo.
I'll tell you what, if we get there, I will make some sort of concoction.
You know what? You know what Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers made?
What's that?
He made milk and sliced hot dogs. And I'm like, and he like threw up everywhere on my stream. And I'm like, why would you do? And we got off the show. We got off the show, and it was just covered in milk. And I'm like, why'd you do that? And he's like, I was just trying to make it a good show. And I'm like, you didn't have to do that, man. Like, Jesus.
I will say this, man. I will say this about Jeremy. He wants to put on a good show, and I appreciate that, man. You know, so I'm going to be heading to their house, the Geeks and Gamers house, right after Thanksgiving. So I'm going to be hanging out over there. I'm looking at my calendar right now. I think I'm going to be out there. Yeah, the 26th. I'm going to be out there the 26th through the 29th. So we're going to do side strollers from their house and all sorts of stuff. It's going to be fun, man. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Molly says, but have you seen Craig as a woman? Beautiful. Yeah, I've seen it on Twitter. Yeah, I've already seen that picture. It's very viral.
I'm way too hot, man, as a girl. I'll tell you that much.
I have a big head. When I use that app, I just have a big head, and it makes me sad. I'm like, man, I'm the only guy out of all my guy friends that's not a hot woman. My head's like just big. It's fucking huge. My jawline, it is too pronounced.
You know, when you see things like that and I look good, right? It really makes it easy to understand why if you were to look at like a dating app, or if you look at somebody on any sort of social media, why these women, why there's so many traps out there, right? Like where you're like, oh man, she looks great. Like I can't even imagine. Like I love that I number one, I love my wife dearly. Number two, I love that I never have to deal with this dating nonsense. Like I met my wife in person where we worked. I've never swiped right or tried to date anybody on a social media app before, and I got to be honest, like it would terrify me if all hell broke loose and it was like, hey, you need to start dating again.
Yeah,
I would have no idea where to start, because I think everything is fake. Everything, like these filters are just ungodly. Like I'm sure you use the dating apps.
I haven't since 2019, and technology has advanced so much that I would be afraid, because I would hang out with women that would use pictures from 3 years prior.
Right.
And they would show up and they would have been like methed out. And I'm like, oh, damn, I didn't know this was going to be a thing. So I could only imagine if a lady showed up and the pictures are beautiful and it shows up and it's just a guy. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, it was a face filter. I was hoping you wouldn't like mind that I'm a trans man. I'm like, you bitch. How dare I'm not freaking dodging the meat. All right, look, it's not what I'm into. Damn.
Wait, okay, well, hold on. So let's just say you show up, okay, in a situation like you did, where you showed up and there's a girl there who's she showed you a picture from 3 years ago. She's all messed out, but you've already made the effort to show up.
Oh,
right. I'm just saying, like, are you following through? Or are you?
No.
Okay.
So the example I gave really happened, and she showed up and I hung out with her for like an hour and a half.
Well, that's very nice of you.
And dude, she was like trying to sit in my lap and cuddle on me and shit. And I was like, dude, she smelled like cigarettes, and she was like 70 pounds. And I was like, bro, I can't do this. And she was like, do you want me to stay tonight? And I was like, I don't know. I got to work in the morning. And she just doesn't leave. And she follows me to my bedroom and then like tries to big spoon me and just lays on me for 2 hours. And then I just get up and I like went to my guest room after she was asleep.
Did you start giving her like, she's 70 pounds. She's all like trying to lay on you. Did you pick her up and start bench pressing her?
Stop.
just tossing her up in the air, doing some plyometrics.
It got to the point, man, where I'd meet up with a girl and I would, unless it was very overtly obvious that the pictures were taken recently, I would meet up with a girl, and if she like turned her head and looked at me and she was beautiful, I would gasp a sigh of relief. I'd be like, oh, thank God. Like, because I showed up one time, girl was like 300 pounds, and the picture she used, she was like 114. And she had already ate like 2 appetizers before I even showed up.
Expect you to get the bill?
She did. That some bitch. No, she comes to, I got like a shot of tequila, bro. And she wasn't 300 pounds. She's probably 180. But I got a shot of tequila, and I go to the bathroom. You know, I come back. I eat like a tiny portion, a $7 portion of steak and rice because I, dieting, so I'm trying to keep my macros in check. And I come back. I get the bill, and it's $70. I had one shot of tequila and a $7. There was 2 appetizers on there, and her full meal, and her 2 shots of tequila. And I'm like, this bitch. And she's like, she looks at me all offended because I was like, let's split the bill. I'm still paying more than I ever would have, but whatever, right. Split it in half. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm a little tipsy. I haven't eaten anything today. Just left the gym, take a shot of tequila. You're 180 pounds. It's in the decent places. If she wouldn't have fucked me, I might have fucked her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, come on, baby. I can tie a rope around you. We'll wrangle it. Fuck it. I'll flour you down a little bit. We'll find it. Yeah. But
did it work out that day?
No, I left her ass.
Okay. I'm telling you, man, this is like, I know the whatever podcast is all like dating and nonsense, but doing like a one-off show, because I am so out of the loop. Like, I'm married 14 years and 2 wonderful young ladies, two girls, and but so like the dating world is so messed up, and I would just love to talk to people who are going on these dates with all these crazy people, because I think dating stories are the funniest things. Yeah. They're so funny to hear about these disasters.
Yeah. Actually, my alt channel was going to be about dating, and the first couple videos really popped off, and then I just didn't have time to, mess with it. So I turned it into my clip channel for this show. But I posted a compilation video on this main channel of like over an hour of me telling stories about this stuff. And I get to the racetrack that weekend. It actually got like 30,000 views. I was very surprised. I was like, that's weird. Why did it get there? But so I get to the racetrack where all these like 40 to 70-year-old super professional NASCAR freaking team owners and shit. And I get there, and we get there on the practice on Saturday morning. And one of the main drivers that's won the last 2 championships, he comes up to me and he's like, man, I love that dating video you put out. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, we all watched it in the holler. Me, Bob, all the like people that like run the sport. And I'm like, you guys watch that? Holy shit. I said some fucked up shit in that video. And he's like, yeah, we were laughing so hard. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to get fired, man.
Okay. So that's the thing. That's the thing about all this, which people need to understand, right? Is you're a regular guy speaking truth, speaking facts, right? Telling funny stories, people laughing about it, right? And these are the dudes who are running this sport. And publicly, like if somebody was get upset, like, yes, we disavow Cam's video on dating, it was blah, 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 blah. But behind the scenes, they're like, are you kidding me? It's so freaking funny.
Yeah.
Like
everybody's like that.
That's the reality of it.
Dude, everybody's like that. There was a situation recently where I had there was like a guy meeting up with one of me and my friends, and he like accidentally said the F slur and then was like terrified that like we were going to be mad. And we just like, we're like, oh no. And we just said it right back to him. And he's like, you could see the relief on his face. And then we're just like going back and forth, woo, just having a good time. And that's how everyone is. There is probably legitimately like less than 1,000 people that actually give a fuck. But we've made it this whole thing to where there's approved speech, and you can't say it, or else people will be they'll act offended, on behalf of people that they think should be offended. And if they're not, they'll call them things like right. Uncle Tom. That's a good one. When a black man's not offended by like certain things or doesn't consider himself a victim, white women will call him an Uncle Tom. That's the most back ass crazy shit I've ever heard. But that's what they do. And no one cares. People will have a good time. I had this kid come to my house, Craig. No shit. I had a kid come to my house because I had a friend over, and my friend that was over, her nephew was going like riding somewhere to like had a trip planned the next day. So staying with us because I live in Huntsville, Alabama, which is like 4 minutes from the airport. Mm-hmm. She's like, come stay with us and you can fly out in the morning. And I was like, all right, cool. Kid's like 13 years old. So he's talking to me. And I'm drinking a little, and it's just me and him. It's like the 13-year-old dude. And we start talking about stuff. And he starts starting conversation. He's talking about how Trump's evil, and people are like bigots and need to like understand like people need rights. And he was just saying all this weird shit with like no direction. And I don't care at all. And I was drinking a little, and I was like, nah, and I just kind of like would fire back a little just for fun. And I'll be, yeah, dude, I don't know, I don't fuck him, I don't care. And when he saw that I was comfortable, that little bastard was saying the F slur every 2 seconds.
Right.
He immediately changed, like flipped on his head and was just like, yeah, it was hilarious. And we were just having, me and him, we like played Halo at like 3 a.m. We're just laughing. I'm like, this random kid, and he felt completely comfortable, and he's completely brainwashed by like his school and shit. He's terrified, and he's like, I think this guy's like an older man. I probably should say all these things, like, so he knows that I'm like in the in crowd. And I'm like, you don't give a fuck. And he's like, oh, you don't care? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, awesome, F slur. And I'm like, yeah, here we go, let's do this. You know, speaking of F slur, Pony, that was a bad transition. I'm sorry. It says BlackRock is repeating Kunlieb and Co. strategy of Holodomor, of bankrolling economic destabilization instead of mass genocide. 66 million. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's like a giant conspiracy that if you just think about it for a second, feels very true. Bobby's World says, ahoy, Camelot and Craig. Big fan. Camelot sent your GameStop stories. I could relate since I was in NGS management. Craig sent Screw Attack, and last time we were face-to-face was at E for All.
Nice.
God dang, great seeing you again.
Awesome. Well, good to see you, Bobby. And I'll say this, man. Yeah, E for All was 2007, maybe. So the story behind so E3 just ended, you know, like E3 is no longer around. But E3, when I started going to it, was 2006, and it was a major thing. So much these companies were spending a lot of money, and I think the next year, maybe 2007, 2008, there was this thing called E for All where they scaled it down, and it was the most depressing, sad excuse of a gaming convention ever. I'll tell you, man, wow, this just hit me, and I realized what they were doing. That is insane. You know, we're like, you want to talk about equity. Right, that was the complaint from these like smaller companies, that EA had these giant booths, Nintendo had these giant booths. So at this E for All, they gave everybody a 20 by 20 space. That's it, a 20 by 20 space, and it was just a big grid of like whether you're the biggest company or a small company, and it was equity then. And you know what? It sucked, and it blew up in their face. And guess what they had to do the next year? Get it back to normal. And guess what happened? Nobody showed up, and it took them like 5 years to recover, to get back to where they were. So that's what equity does for you.
It's crazy. It's like the common phrase, equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome, right? So that's that, and that works in almost every single facet of like human nature and life. Give people the opportunities, let them do what they need to do, you know, within reason. If you're in a country that can do that, and then go and do what you need to do. But you can't just give people things to give people things, because something given has no value. Correct. Right? Like, there's a reason why over 84% of people that win the lottery are bankrupt within 2 years. It's because something given is not valued, right?
Yes.
And people that were millionaires that went bankrupt, often on a large percentage, I don't know the exact percentage, but on a very high percentage, become millionaires again within a couple of years.
100%.
Because they know how to put the grind down. They know how to work. Look at Craig. It's a good example. Craig had a very successful website. He had 2 ventures, and then he's like, you know what? I'm going to do fucking side scrollers. 6 months later, he's kicking ass. Look at all those red freaking sticky notes back there. I see them. Right?
There they are. There's Wait back there, CEO. We got, you know, Shams up there. Listen. People believe in the mission. That's the most important thing. And look, if you do it, it's not a secret, right? I say it every single day, man. If you got a goal, go get it, right? Don't stop. Don't let yourself get in the way. You can do it. I'm a firm believer that literally anybody, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise you that. It's crazy.
Yep. It's all about mindset, Bob. So that's exactly true. I think one of those red things have my name on it, I think. I might be wrong. It might be a pink one. I don't remember.
Yep. Sorry, I'm chewing some ice.
I wanted to be on the wall, man. It was a couple months ago, but I wanted to be up there.
So the wall's actually flipped. This is the second wall. And we actually have more space since I moved the camera up and have the standing desk. Now we have this entire area up here, which needs to be filled. We're gonna fill this bad boy, and we're gonna take a big old picture of it, and it's gonna be great. But yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing about it is, like, you know, you're not funding me. You're supporting side scrollers. You're supporting the future. You're supporting common sense. That's the biggest thing, you know, and it's great. So
yeah, and that's something that not a lot of people realize, and I want to cover that here in a second. Billy says, I'm from Texas, Craig. I live near Alvin.
nice. Good for you.
Oh yeah, Billy. Yeah,
Welcome, Texan.
that makes sense because he came and saw me at Montsuri when I had a panel, or sorry, well, yeah, I had a panel, but I had a table at Montsuri this year for the second year in a row. And I had a line the entire time, and that's the first time that's ever happened. I was really happy. It was really cool because last year I had Eric July Nerdrotic right beside me.
Yeah,
they had a line out the ass, and I'm sitting there all alone like a dumbass. So, but this year it was, and it's probably because I started CAMELCAST. Dude, so many people walked up and talked to me, and it was so cool. I met so many awesome people, including Billy. So I appreciate that. It was really, really cool. So, mindset. Where is it at? I saw it in the chat, and it made me want to cover a point. And so supporting your favorite creators. A lot of people, especially people that are mad, like people that like say you're a scammer. This is what happens all the time because of super chats. What they don't understand is you're supporting a person, you're supporting their venture, you're supporting what they're doing, right? So without that support, it wouldn't exist. You're right. So, you know, this is what I do full time every day. This is all I do. I'm making YouTube videos every day. I'm collabing with my editor. We're going over what we're putting on the other channels. I'm talking to people every single day in my DMs. Now, again, I kind of got off track of that because I got banned. But now me and my booking agent coordinate, and we talk to all kinds of people. Really helps out a lot. And you have to be on that shit all day, every day. You just got to be on it. And when people support your channels, as low as a $1 super chat all the way up to a $500 super chat, it keeps that channel moving forward, and you're supporting your favorite creators. And to be honest, I've never thought I deserved it. I struggle with imposter syndrome, always have. I think the first stream I ever did, I made $500, and I broke down in tears because I couldn't believe what the fuck was happening.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. It was crazy, and it just has always been this way. And it's been really cool to see. And don't listen to people that say, you know, oh, you're just giving these people like random money and they're just using it on vanity. They're not. I mean, it's going towards paying for my studio. It's going towards paying for, you know, the space I work in, the space I live in, to keep these things alive. There's not much left over.
All right.
And anything left over goes into, you know, the show. And people were like, but you bought a supercar recently. Yeah. So I did that through selling all my race cars that I've had for years. They went up in value. I had a Jeff Gordon car, a real one, sold it, sold the engine, sold the transmission, sold everything. And my trailer, sold everything. And I literally just rolled it over into one of my dream cars. So that's how I got that. It wasn't from super chats.
Right.
I can't buy no super car with damn super chats. I wish. I ain't Nick Ricada. Samantha says, sorry for being MIA. Every time I think I'm getting better, I crash all over again. Yesterday made a month of my sister being gone. Love y'all. Sorry to hear that, Samantha. I hope you get better. I don't think you'll ever fully recover, because from a sibling, when my brother died in 2017, I think about that shit every day. But it's just, you know, but it gets easier, but it never goes away. So I love you, Samantha. I'm sorry you're feeling like balls. Thank you, Al Guang. I love you, by the way. Thank you.
You know, you're talking about Nick Ricada, and Samantha. I'm sorry to hear that. That's horrible to hear. I just not heard your story, but I think that's the worst and saddest. Well, I'll talk about Nick in a minute, but just to, you know, kind of further that home a little bit. I had a friend in high school 25 years ago now who passed on, who died in a car wreck, and she was a good friend. And I'll say this, it was really tough for a long time. But the thing that the silver lining to it was, over the next, well, 5, 10 years, 15 years, and now 25 years, I've gotten close to her mom, like super close to her mom. And now she's just like another mom to me. Right. And, you know, so much so that we just went to her, you know, 50th anniversary with her husband, and, you know, they talked about her daughter and stuff. And you know, I know, I mean, my situation is obviously different, you know, but, you know, there was a silver lining in my situation, and I hope that you find yours. So, with that said, it'll be hard, but eventually, I hope you find it. Speaking of Nick, I interviewed Nick on last week, and
I watched the whole thing.
And what was interesting, because I got to be honest, I had no idea how much, like, I thought he was pretty well liked, but apparently, like, people really don't like Nick Rekieta and Rekieta Law. Like, I was like, well, I don't understand. Like, what did I miss? Maybe I didn't do enough research on Nick, you know. But like,
I know. I mean, I know what happened.
Tell me.
So Nick is for a long when Rittenhouse came around, right? So when Rittenhouse came around, he was like the #1 show that was providing the commentary for the Rittenhouse trial, watching it live and whatnot. That's kind of what blew him up at first, and before the Vic Mignogna thing, where she was covering. A lot of people didn't like that as well, but it was small fry stuff, right? And people that were angry at him. So then, of course, the Amber Heard trial starts, and of course, he's like the #1 person covering the trial. And this was around the time YouTube implemented their trusted source payment option.
He talked about this. Yes.
So YouTube will allow you to pay them. It's something like $1 million. It's pretty high. And if you pay them that, they will always recommend your content #1 over everybody else's. So basically pay to play. If you have enough money to kill, you can just become influential. It's kind of like Sam Bankman-Fried talking about how he donated $100 million to Democrats from his stolen money. And he did it because it was the easiest way to become powerful and influential is just give politicians money. So he focused on Democrats for some weird reason. I don't really know why. I can't tell you. But anyways, so they paid for that and they were able to get like #1 recommended. But Nick was still performing hugely. 100,000 concurrent on his shows, which is unheard of. He made $1 million in super chats in like 3 months or something crazy.
Yeah.
So, or I might be wrong. It's something like that. And so he's doing really well. So what happened was all these people came to him and he earned their viewership. They were watching his channel and they were not watching his night shows. So his night shows, I always called him degenerate because they're way looser. And these people labeled Nick in their heads as like a extremely conservative Christian, like morally just man. And Nick's a normal guy. He's laid back. He likes to have fun, likes to joke around, likes to have a good time. That's fine. And people, the last couple of months, people have really been digging hard into, like, they don't think he's a real Christian. They think he's all these things. There's a lot of rumors about him. And it's basically troll clip channel stuff. Now, I will say, maybe it's not Nick, but I think he lets it get to him a little bit too much, like the comments. And some of them get to me sometimes. And I think that's the whole issue. It's the same thing with the Eric July and the Dick Masterson thing. So Eric July just lets criticism get to him so hard, and it just makes these people want to go harder and troll you harder and yell at you harder because they want to see the reaction that you give. And if you react to them being hateful, it just makes them want to go harder. And it brings us full back to the no bitches people. That's just what they do. And I've never taken heed in that shit. Dude, people call me fat. I'll never understand that. I got a fat head, but I ain't a fat guy. But people call me fat. People will call me redneck, stupid, tiny penis, which is true. But they always thought, and they've never really been able to do anything to me because, I just agree with it and have a good time. And I think that's the best way you can, get out of the situation. But these people go really hard, especially if you have children. They'll freaking call us child protective services. They'll go hard, like Tug. Yeah. They'll go insanely hard. Speaking of going hard, we're 150 likes away from goal. We've had 500 people in here the whole show. I love you guys.
Let's go.
But yeah, so he's just dealing with the most dedicated haters possible, which technically I see that as #1 fans.
Right. And I think that ultimately as you grow, you will ultimately, so there's an arc with every content creator, right? Mm-hmm. And that arc goes as follows. You will have people who are your early supporters. Your early supporters will become your biggest fans.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they will find out that you change, and they will ultimately become your biggest detractors.
Yep.
Right. That happens to literally everybody. It's happened to me in my career 3 times. Right. It's just what happens. And whether you change or not, they in their mind, you either said something, you did something, you didn't do something, you didn't say something, and ultimately that changes their perception of you.
Yeah.
And ultimately they want to end you. And like I said, we're now at a stage where, like, I've seen this before, I've experienced it before, I know what's happening, and I know, I just don't let it bother me. I was like, I don't care, I like, go ahead and hate watch. You can be upset at me all you want. You can be upset that I think you're idiots, and you are idiots. That's fine. The difference is that I would call you that to your face, and you will do it behind an avatar or a mask.
Well, it's like I believe in protest. I believe in free speech, but I also think you're kind of a bitch when you show up to a protest and you have a mask on.
Oh my God.
If you do, you don't actually believe in what you're protesting.
No.
In my opinion, look, I know what you're going to do, what you're going to do, but I just think it's kind of lame. If you're going to protest, show up and have your face out and be proud. But usually they're not proud of what they're doing. Usually they're there to just cause a stink because human nature is kind of wild.
Yeah. But what's in it goes back to children. These are, we have a bunch of children in society. And you're right. If they truly believed in it, they would, if they truly believed in it, they wouldn't have masks on. So.
Yep. 100%. And you'll always notice like the worst people possible, like protesting the most heinous shit. Like, oh, riots for pedos. They all have masks on. Of course they do.
Right.
Of course they do. Right. But usually either A, they're government plants, or B, they don't actually think their ideas are popular. Johan says, I still love you despite your friendship with EVS. Thank you, Johan. Appreciate that. I love EVS. I got his hat over there. It's like sitting in the corner. You can't see it, but it's over there somewhere. He's always been so nice to me.
I've been on, I think I was on one show. It's Ethan Von Schreiber. Is that his name?
Ethan Van Sciver, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been on, I think I was on one show on Geeks and Gamers with them for like, a little bit, but I don't really recall or really know a whole lot about him. I know he's kind of over the top. And I think that's kind of his personality. So, hey, how close are we to getting you to drink your fight milk?
$159.
All right, let's get there. Let's get
$159.
It's time to turn this bad boy up and get you there. Okay,
boys.
I want to see you do this live. Okay?
Oh God, I haven't done it in a while, man. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done it.
Well, I'm ready to see it. And once again, I'll make my own. Like, listen, it is. What time is it? It's 10:30. All right, it's 10:30 at night. I'm an old man. I'm usually getting in bed around this time, right? But if we get there like in the next, let's just say like 10 minutes, I will make a concoction. All right, I'll drink it with you. Right?
Damn.
Yeah.
Speaking of change, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of change, what happened to me, because you said people think you change. So I went from a video game streaming channel. My streams were me playing games, which I'm going to do on my alt channel starting probably next week.
Yep.
I miss it. I love it. But I went from streaming video games to doing this show. That's kind of what happened. And I went from having 100 viewers concurrent to having like 1,000, like in a week. And, now I average probably 500 is my average, but I mean, Saturday I had 1,000 people watching.
Hey, give it up for us. Totally average today. Let's freaking go.
Yes. This is great. This is a great show, actually. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I saw a lot of my friends streaming and they had lower viewership than normal. And I'm like, oh, fuck, is YouTube on one of their weird things where they're just not promoting shit? Oh, fuck.
Hey,
but we're doing great.
Suck it, friends. Let's go.
Yeah. Fuck them. So, but yeah, and there were people saying I've changed and they don't like me anymore because my community is not close knit. Well, I'm like, look, to continue to grow and to thrive on any platform, you got to do what you got to do. And I've said since day one, I wanted to do a show like this since day one. And it took me 3 years to finally start it in February. And it's been nothing but amazing. So I've been having so much fun with that. And yeah, people hated me. I've had people, there used to be hate channels all over the place about my ass. That was back when people hated me like they did Nick right now. And you go to the comment section and dude, like half the comments are just people that used to be in my chat.
Right.
And they're like, Cody's changed. He's evil and begs for money. And I'm like, what the fuck? I've never even asked for nothing. What the fuck? And it would be people that used to like super chat me all the time. And I'm like, why did you give me money if you thought I'm so confused? Like it's the weirdest shit, man. Not Gary. Let's make it 150. You dudes rule. Thank you for the rad streams. Thank you, not Gary. I appreciate you, dude. He's the man.
So, I'll tell you what I'm going to grab. I don't have any eggs, but I'll grab some rum. Do you know what rum chata is? Do you like rum chata?
Yeah. I don't like rum chata, but I know what it is.
Dude, I got some peppermint rum chata. I'll take a shot of peppermint rum chata.
Ooh,
That sounds like that's a sipper, but I'll take the shot.
hell yeah.
And do you know the last time I had a drink of alcohol? It's been a long time. So I'll tell you, it'd be quite different. Quite different for me. So
I blacked out Thursday. That's the last time I drank.
You're like, it's been about 48 hours. So
yeah. I blacked the hell out. Here's a small story. It's very small. I was drunk. It was like 2 a.m. and I was drunk. And I was drinking Woodford, beautiful whiskey.
Good whiskey.
And a random Discord called me. They did a Discord call, which they call everybody. There's only like 12 people in the Discord.
Okay.
So I answer it because it's 2 a.m. if I don't give a fuck. And I'm just playing Party Animals and talking to these people. No, I was playing Resident Evil 2. And I was talking to these people, and I don't know any of these people. And like one person has autism, one person's a trans man, one person's like another person that has something like that. And I guess it's the community. Somehow I found myself in this community, and they were all great people. And we had so much fun until 6 a.m. We were laughing and cutting up. It was awesome. It was so cool, man. And it was such a fun. I just did, dude. I was like, man, the drunker I got, the more normal they sounded. It's wild. It's great.
That's great, man. I love it. Yeah. And in that the funniest thing is that people will say, "Oh, you changed so much," and we're so divided. And the reality is that you're in there with this group of people that that if you were to get in a room, you'd all look totally different. You'd have total different preferences, whatever. And the reality is that you were just hanging out, and everyone had a great time. And 80 to 90% of everything that you guys would talk about, you guys would totally agree on. Everything, hey, did you watch the new whatever, insert TV show here? Yeah, it was fun. It was good. It was stupid. Did you see the new South Park, blah, blah, blah. And you laugh and giggle about it. But it's like, it's those wedge issues, man, which makes you evil.
Yeah, it was weird too, because I was talking to these people, like one of them was trans, and they were I'm pretty sure one of them was gay, one of them was trans, and they were saying the F slur, and like they got in the conversation of that kind of stuff, and like the trans man was like, yeah, just don't fuck with children, and I don't care. And I'm like, oh god, you guys are based. This is great. And they're all really young. They're like, in their 20s, and I'm like, these, and I literally told them, I was like drunk as fuck, Greg. I was like, you guys are just giving me so much hope for the future.
I'll tell you, man, I got to be honest, man. Like when, and not if, but when we get together, right, in real life, whether it's you coming to Dallas or me going to you, because you come through Dallas for Matsuri, right?
Oh yeah.
So when you come, when you get together, we're gonna need to like, I'll get a hotel wherever you guys are staying, and we'll go hard for a night. It'll be fun.
Or next year at Matsuri, because I'm sure we'll be doing it again. Because we'll probably have Gary back, and Critical Drinker said he'd come back. Just when the coordinator reaches out to me, I'll tell him to reach out to you, and you can just come and be part of our whole. We have a giant area. You know how like Microsoft will have an area, and all these people. We just have a whole area, and it's called YouTube Creators, and it's got all of our logos all over the walls and stuff.
Yes, yes, that sounds great. Or what if? Listen. I do events, Cam. I don't think you understand this. I've done big events. I've done small. I did an event that had 15,000 people at it. All right. I've done events that have 100 people at it. Cam, I'm just saying, why don't we just do our own event?
That'd be fun.
Let's just do our own event,
dude. Me and Nick Ricardo, we've done a bunch of them this year.
Let's go.
And we had 200 people at the first one. It was a comedy show. I think we had 200 people at the second or more at their comedy show. We do comedy shows every couple of months. We met up in Vegas to do a comedy show, and then we did a comedy show in Houston, and we did a comedy show in Nashville, and it was huge.
All right, we're gonna do this.
I said the F slur on stage. Awesome. I told a Jewish joke that was fucked up. I was like, "Is any of you in here Jewish?" And like 2 people raised their hand. And I was like, "Good," and they all laughed, and it was great. And they came, shook my hand. It's my first comedy set ever, and people were like, "Dude, you did amazing." I was like, "Thank you. I'm drunk."
That's awesome. I think that's what it takes. Just take some drinks, right?
Yeah, we're closing in, boys. Johan says, Craig, if Cody and RazörFist were in a man-love relationship, who's the power bottom? And why is it Cody? God damn it, Johan, why? Why do you guys do this to me?
Okay, I need a little clarity here. What exactly, when you say the power bottom, what exactly does that mean?
So a power bottom, a power bottom is somebody that's on bottom, but they're not a pillow princess. They're like a masculine bottom, like they go ham.
Okay.
But they get that pelvic thrust going.
They're letting you know. They're letting you know.
They're letting you know that you're into it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Johan. I appreciate that.
Well, no, I'm giving. Hold on. I need to give that some thought. I do. Yeah. I got to be honest. Like Razor's are pretty. Razor's in good shape, man. He's in good shape. That'd be an interesting relationship. For sure.
It would be. Jimber Jamber says, "Mary Fett kill Gary Drinker Nick." I would marry Gary. Obviously,
I would too. Absolutely.
I would probably smash Drinker and kill Nick. I think.
So I've never met Drinker before. You know what's funny? Man, okay, this game, the MFK game. This is how I knew this was changing on the internet, because I wanted to make an entire series built around this question back in the Screw Attack days. And everybody on my team was like, no, you can't do that. It's too, you don't want to say you're going to kill anybody. You're going to hurt people's feelings. It's like, that's a hilarious show. That'd be a great show. And you go like super in depth on why, with like really logical thoughts. Anyways, sorry.
Amazing. Real quick, Rakin Knight, my boy. I was actually referring to him earlier when I said I met a bunch of beautiful people. One of them, his name was Rakin Knight, came up to my booth and talked to me for like an hour. Thank you so much, my man, Rakin Knight. Let's get milk, my man. Thank you, Rakin Knight. We love you.
That's a pinky. So you just get like a half right there, just a little. Just a little one.
Thank you, Rakin Knight. I appreciate you. We are now 92 away from Fight Milk with a couple minutes left in the show. Got a couple minutes left, and then we're going to log. But we're there, and we're also 100 likes away. So make sure you guys spam the like button. If you have the chat open, close it, hit the like button, open it back up. Get on it.
This is important stuff. You got to get in there. Hit the like goals. Listen, I need to see the Fight Milk in person, y'all. Like I haven't seen this. I've only heard rumors of this. All right.
Rumors.
Got to be honest. This is like, we got to make this happen.
Something I want to talk about just real quick. Because this is what I was wanting to know about for a while. So I knew about Screw Attack when I was 17, 18. Because that's when it was around. Was when I was 18. I'm 33 now, but that was back
a long time ago. Yeah.
And basically you made a website, and I remember hearing Screw Attack had a pay model for YouTube before YouTube had a pay model, right?
So not really. So the way it worked was we did have partners on the channel. So we have this website, and there were multiple versions of the website. The first version was just a place where we could post our stuff. The second one, we added like blogging features. Maybe the third one. I think the third version, we added like blogging features. The fourth one, we gave people the ability to upload videos to. And that was like major. Like it was kind of like, well, it was YouTube before YouTube really kind of took over the gaming space. That's where people went to go watch, but we didn't have any sort of monetization structure on it. We weren't that big of a company. Like, it wasn't like YouTube where you had hundreds of people. We had, a group of like 12 people who, and our back end folks were, we had a lot of freelance people that work for us. But yeah, I'd say the biggest thing Screw Attack offered was an opportunity for people to be seen and get their opportunity to make money at other places. Yeah. We provided a platform, and it worked exceptionally well. So, like I said, if you were to play, the Kevin Bacon game, 6 Degrees of Separation, with pretty much any major or any content creator online right now, we're like 1 or 2 degrees away from everybody. Even like we're talking about, we're talking about the Completionist. Like I said, Gerard got to start there. RazörFist got to start there. Like it was very, very cool to be there early. And honestly, we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just kind of figuring it out. There was no game plan. It was like, well, this would be really cool because I would like it. We did things differently, and I think that was the thing that people really liked about us was we went out of our way like YouTube had a rating feature at the time. It was like, give it a 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had a 1 through 10, but we also gave you once a day the opportunity to rate a video or a blog post with an 11. Right. So some videos would have like a 10.6 rating, you know, and it was really like kind of fun. The idea of like, we're going to 11. This video was so good.
Yeah.
It got more than a 10. And it was just stupid things like that. It's like, we're going to build this into our website because why not? You know? So it was fun, man.
It's wild.
Great.
Speaking of wild, Psycho Crusher says, Camelot, I can't believe that you've changed into someone who's rolling in red, boys. Thank you, Psycho Crusher, so much. I love you, Psycho Crusher, and I love damn Inboss, and I've always loved your freaking profile picture. And don't forget, wait. Wait, says, doing this for Granny. Oh my God, he's on fire. Look at that. And you believe it. Amazing.
Got to shimmy it off. Okay, listen. Hey, wait, I'm going to go get some of that rum chata. Let's go.
Hold on. Well, before you do that.
Okay, yeah.
I got to go do that too. And it'll take me like my freaking kitchen's like 2 floors down.
Okay, you do that. I'll man the show. Well, you do. I mean, I can talk to.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll do that then.
I mean, that's what I do for a living.
I love you. I appreciate you. Big round of applause for Wait getting us there. You guys are goated as hell. We have hit Fight Milk for the first time in forever. And also Naked Snake for 233 streams in a row. Patrick, one of my boys, Patrick Williamson, Billy Hatcher, Eric Lineker, Hayden Dryless. Miss you, man. I'm glad you're back. Hayden again with the Red Boys. Dryless again with the Red Boys. Wait with the Red Boy. And Wait again with the Red Boy. And don't forget my boy, Rakin Knight. I appreciate you guys so much getting us there. Unbelievable support every single stream without falter, without failure. I love you, and I appreciate you guys. We're going to go full screen with Craig. He's going to tell you what he has coming on his show, if he has any guests lined up, if he has some content lined up, what's his projects, while I go get my Fight Milk.
Nice. How sweet. How nice is that? Hey, everybody. It's good to see you. Hey, just want to say thanks for the support tonight. You guys make me look good when Cam is invites me on. Really appreciate that. So yeah, if you guys don't know, I host this thing called Side Scroll, which is a daily podcast, 11 to about 12:30 every single day. You guys can come and join us live. We got a bunch of really great guests coming up. We have tomorrow we have. Okay, did you guys hear about this? And I actually got to bring this up to Cam. The whole Escapist crew got fired and resigned last week. Well, they're the new EIC for that new group called Second Wind. He's going to be on our show tomorrow with Short Fat Otaku. On Thursday, we're doing a retro gaming panel. Friday, Melanie Mack will be on. RazörFist back on Monday. We got a bunch of great videos on the channel right now. So please head over and subscribe. You guys have shown Cam a tremendous amount of support. I hope you show us that much love tomorrow during Side Scroll. We got a lot of good things going on. Man, you want to talk about silly guests? Back in the day, there was this guy named Uwe Boll, and this is probably the next like super fun interview I'm really looking forward to. We have a bunch of great interviews coming up, but Uwe Boll was the guy. He was like gamer enemy #1 in the late 2000s, early 2010s. He was the director who made all the bad video game movies, the Far Cries and movies like that. And we're going to do a one-on-one interview with him coming up in early December. That is on 12/12/23, December 12th, 2023. So make sure you guys are there for that, man. He was in Postal. Yeah. So there we go, man. Hopefully you guys pop in and join us. If you guys have, we talked about this earlier. We had a video go up. It's our #1 video on the channel right now. It's us talking about the Biden digital equity plan. Going over to our channel, watch that. It's really important. We do, myself, Razor, and Blabs talked about it today on the show. It's a clip that went up. It's about 15 minutes long. I encourage you guys to get on it and get on it, doggone it, as Cam says, because ultimately, that is it's probably the most important thing that you watch all day. I know we're all talking about the Completionist and all that stuff, and it's always fun to talk about that type of drama and stuff. But nah, man, it's a very big deal. While I am here, so tomorrow night I will be on. Man, this is a week of Craig, man. I'm going everywhere. Tomorrow night I'll be on Tuesday Night Main Events, which is very exciting. On Wednesday I'll be on Nina Infinity's stream, and then on a Friday I'll be on Friday Night Tight. So I'm going to be on pretty much a stream every single evening this week. So please come join me. But first and foremost, find me during the day over on the Side Scrollers podcast channel at Side Scrollers Podcast. And if you want to like do games and stuff, we have the Side Scrollers Plays channel. So Cam, how are you, buddy?
I'm back. So you're gonna be on FNT?
FNT on Friday night. So
Awesome.
like I said, I got a busy week, between here and I mentioned tomorrow, Tuesday night main event. On Wednesday, I'm going to be on Nina Infinity stream, and on Friday, I'm on FNT. So,
well, dude, have fun. I've been on FNT. I went on FNT for the Guardians of Galaxies episode. So much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, all I did was talk about how cute the animals were and how they made me cry the whole stream.
Well,
Az was like, it's a terrible movie. And I'm like, you shut your mouth. It's beautiful. Look at the little otter, how adorable she was.
Well, so I have no idea what we're going to talk about, because originally I was supposed to go see the new Hunger Games movie, the prequel, and I was told I don't need to go see it anymore. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Worked out. Yeah, it all worked out. Renee Galarza, we love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you guys like the stream. I need you to spam that like button to get to 500 likes. We already hit the viewer goal. We already hit the Fight Milk goal and the Next Snake goal. All we need is that like goal to come full circle. Johan says, I save all my big chats for Zia. You bastard. We formed an alliance against you. She offered me snacks. As a fat man, I can't refuse. You bastard. Hey, wait, hold on, Johan. You tell me all women are triflers. They're all delusional. They're all whores and they need to die. And then you're like, I save all my big chats for Zia. What the fuck?
Hey, Johan.
How could you?
Tomorrow on Side Scrollers, you show up. I got snacks for you, big dog. Let's go.
It's time, boys. We're closing in on the end of the show, so it's time for some Naked Snake. And then I got my beautiful, delicious wood for the reserve.
Ooh.
It is ready for you. And
wow.
We're going to have a lot of fun here. So let's do some Naked Snake. Then we're going to do some Fight Milk, and then we're going to close it down. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You ready, Craig? You don't have to rip your shirt off, but I'm going to do it. So where's my bandana?
You don't want to see my shirt off. I'm too white, man. Look at how white I am. Look at
my God.
Isn't that amazing?
What? How's that possible? Where do you go?
I mow the lawn, and that's about it.
Dude, I pay a Mexican guy to do that. What the hell?
Yeah, I need to get what's your editor's name again?
Adrian Rebello.
Look at that though, dude. Check this out in the back. Well, look at this. Look at how bad this is. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, my first race this year, I got so burnt, and I had a tank top on, so I had a perfect tank top outline. It's hilarious.
I am legitimately a redneck. That's the thing about it. Yeah. I'll tell you, you get your drink. Let me get my drink while you get is your drink prepared? Is the
mine's just sitting here, but I'm gonna do Naked Snake.
Okay, you go do that. I'm gonna get my drink. Hold on,
all right, let's do Naked Snake while Craig's getting his drink. It's time for the 233rd running of Naked Snake. Colonel, Naked Snake's here. Are you guys ready? Let's go! Like the show! I'll pull this up when Craig gets back, Johan. Here we go.
What a thrill with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching, now melting to you.
Here we go, boys.
What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme.
Snake eater in my time. There be nobody else. Cry. It's the way I fly to you. Ooh, I'm stealing dream. Snake eater. You ready for this, Craig? Best part. Here we go.
Someday you'll go away. Someday you feed on a tree frog. It's your child.
We're going hard. Can you believe it? 233 in a row. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. Craig giving us the flex. In my time, there been nobody else. Ooh, here we go. Cry. It's the way I fly to you. Ooh. I'm still in a dream. Snake eater. Amazing. 233 snakes in a row. It's been 2 years. 2 years. Let's close it out. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for me. One more time. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. You guys are goated. You're the piece. 233 in a row, which brings us full circle to the fight milk. So let's grab it. I got.
You said this is the first one in a while, huh?
Yeah, first one in a couple weeks, I think. Maybe.
Oh man, let's go.
Maybe when yeah, I think it's been a couple weeks because I didn't
come on
hit it
again
Saturday. So
I better get on here again. Bring that money.
To be fair, I took a week off to go to Orlando.
Oh, okay, well.
But still,
what was I say? It's been since the last show, right?
Yeah. No, I've had a few shows in. The goal's a little higher on Saturday with Zia because she's in a bikini.
Wow. Is that all it takes?
She actually looks good. Yeah, dude, Zia just started YouTube and she kills it every stream. And it's because she's in a bikini. I mean, come on. If I would do the same thing. I mean, technically I kind of do,
Well, I'm just saying, like, do I need to get some young ladies in bikinis on my streams?
That's what I did.
Oh.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bring Zia on because not only is she cool and has great opinions and fun to talk to, but she also looks great in the bikini. There's one egg. Here goes the second egg. Oh yeah, get in there, my friend. You're going inside me. Yes. Oh, Colonel. There's 2 eggs in the glass. They look delicious. I doubt he'll be saying, damn, that's good. All right. Now we go for the milk. So we're going to put in about a cup of milk, maybe a cup and a half. Let's go.
Got some
This is protein milk because you got to think about our diet.
There you go.
There we go.
Got my rum chata.
Rum chata.
But peppermint bark, by the way.
Peppermint bark, my God. And then we top it off with some good old-fashioned Woodford Reserve, the best whiskey that you can buy. That's not that expensive. It's like $40.
Pretty good.
It's great. Ooh, damn. It popped at me. Here we go. Let's pour this in. We're just going to pour. We're going to pour. Since I haven't done it in a while, let's pour a lot of it in. Yeah. How about that? That won't be too bad. About 2.5 shots. And then I'll get to drink all night because I'll have no shame.
All right. You're going to get this all down in one swoop?
Oh, yeah. So, without further ado, I appreciate you all. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. Unbelievable, unparalleled support again on another show. We were 11th in the world Saturday in revenue on stream. I don't know where we'll be tomorrow, but pretty close. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you like the show, and let's give you a little bit of that taste. A little bit of that taste of the succulent fight milk. It's that time again, everyone. I hope you guys are ready. Me and Craig's going to go hard for you guys today. It's been a lot of fun. The 74th episode of CAMELCAST featuring Stuttering Craig, Side Scores Podcast. Great man, strong man, hardworking man, and he is seeing the fruits of his labors right now, and I've never been happier. Awesome to see. It's time again. Everybody in the chat, make sure you guys like the show. Make sure you guys spam that like button. We need your support. Independent creators need your support. Independent media needs your support. We will no longer bow to the men in suits and nice hair telling us what we need to think. We're not doing it no more. It's time for Fight Milk, guys. You guys ready?
Let's go.
When the beat drops, Craig,
It's one shot. Okay.
For some Fight Milk. Let's go. Woo!
Wow.
My God!
You're impressive. That was impressive.
Amazing show to get today, everybody. Fantastic show, fun show. Thank you guys so much. Saturday, we might have Boogie. I'll let everybody know. I've already talked to him, and he said he's down, but got to confirm it. Monday is Adam Krigler. Gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Wednesday, don't know yet. But yeah, Saturday it will be Zia, could be Boogie as well, and somebody else. And then the Monday after that, I have Mint Autistic Boobs on Twitter. She's cool. I have a lot of good people coming, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Don't forget, I have a new video coming out tomorrow. Very spicy. Please share it. It's all up to you guys. Once I put it out, that's all I can do. Share it, give it likes, and comment on it, please. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Craig, for coming on today.
Man, what a pleasure. This is a great 2 hours. I enjoy hanging out with you every time we talk. I can't wait for the opportunity to hang out with you in person, buddy. I'm looking forward to it.
Dude. I'm looking forward to that too. Everybody on Rumble, thank you guys so much for all your support on Rumble. Make sure you give it the good old-fashioned taste. A little bit of that like button. Give it some love. Been a lot of fun. And let me look at something real quick before we pop off this show. Just want to make sure I got up my ducks in a row here. I doubt I can do that, but we'll try it. Oh my gosh. Wait, no, that's not the right thing. What? There's so many Geeks and Gamers things on right now. There's like 9 Geeks and Gamers streams. They got too much going on. Can't even follow it anymore.
Yeah, I know they're everywhere.
Geeks and Gamers T. Geeks and Gamers. Geeks and Gamers.
What are you looking for?
I would like to raid my boys playing Party Animals, Geeks and Gamers.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Nope, they don't allow raids. You bastards.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Bastards.
Somebody mentioned didn't get to the UFO story. The clip of that's going to go up on the channel tomorrow. So we talked about it on the main show. If you want to watch the main show today, it was on there. I got a lot of ridicule talking about my UFO experience over the weekend. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. I think we'll do. How long have they been live? 81 minutes ago. All right. We're going to raid somebody I've never raided before named Carolyn that's playing.
Oh, Kara's great.
That'll be fun. Make sure you guys say Cam Raid in the chat. Give them some love. Subscribe to her channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in the video. Please do not forget to share it. It goes up at 2 p.m. Central. Get on it, doggone it. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.